on the YouTube. Get this thing rolling. Get it rolling. Get it rolling. Lord, I don't know how many of y'all actually saw the VMAs last night, but I can honestly say I caught some of the performances. Of course, I had a space going on, so I couldn't actually catch the thing live. So I just decided to go ahead and check out a couple of the actual performances. I know Taylor Swift, she racked up, I believe she won something like 9 awards. They had a special part where it was dedicated to hip hop as well too. You saw some of the hip hop acts out there. I believe we had they had a tribute. The VMAs had a tribute to hip hop. You had Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You had Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, Nicki Minaj was out there. LL Cool J, of course. Had Mama Said Knock You Out. I'm with you. I haven't watched it in years. Viral. I'm with you on that. I catch it every so often just so we can actually have something to conversate about. The outfits was crazy. I saw Billy Porter sitting up there. Him, Billy Porter, and what's your boy name? Nas X. If a picture could say 1,000 words, like these guys they had something. They had their little outfits on and stuff like that. It was crazy, crazy. I don't know who that was performing. Was that NL Chopper, one of them cats performing? And you had Nelly, because they actually did a remake of Nelly's song, It's Getting Hot in Here. And the girls basically like they had thongs on up there. So, that was crazy. Of course, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B were performing their new hit. Um, it's definitely not, and I was never a huge person of the VMAs. I would watch it every so often back in the day, but definitely something I could do without. I can also do without the actual BET awards as well, too, to be honest. But just being in the media and stuff. Sometimes you look at this stuff just so you can actually have something to actually talk about or whatever. And you know, I know Nicki Minaj, she did her thing, and Diddy, they had a Bad Boy tribute up there. Diddy, one thing I didn't understand with the tribute, the Bad Boy thing, Diddy, like, they would come out with beats and stuff. Like I think they had the Feel So Good music for Mace, but then no Mace comes out there. Diddy's son, what is his name, King Combs, he's out there rapping and stuff like that. So you could like at least could have had some of the artists that helped build Bad Boy up there and had them actually come out and participate in the actual thing as well too. But then again, that's right. Diddy was honored though. I think he did win like some kind of global icon award as well too. So Diddy actually got an award, global icon award. So you know, it is what it is. The fashions was crazy. My man Nightfall. Shout out to my people over there on YouTube. Everybody on YouTube, make sure you guys go ahead, share, like, subscribe, comment on the post. Nightfall says, and this is exactly what Tariq was talking about when he mentioned the Caribbean Awards. Our stars always going around acting ratchet as yeah. I mean, did you see some of the outfits out there? Like some of the outfits. And then like music is totally it was one group. I don't know what the hell their name was Anita, Anita, or something like that. And I swear, I had to hear this song again because it was like some chicks. Like one of them looked like she might have been Hispanic or Latino. Had a couple black chicks singing with her. I swear it seemed like they had this song, and it was some kind of it was some kind. I forgot what the hell kind of award. Like they just stick awards together now. They just make categories up. I swear it was something like the song. I swear, and this white chick was singing a Latino, whatever she was. Like I used to be, and like they kind of sent like kind of like went low and like she sounded like she was saying I used to be a hoe. To be honest, that was the name of the song. I was like, what in the world are we talking about here? It was crazy. But all these award shows are crazy now. Like they let them do all kind of cursing at the award shows. Like back in the day, they censor some things out. It's funny, like which curse words are censored out and which ones aren't. You can say certain things and certain things you can't say. So it's just crazy, man. Listening to this VMAs, and I think they say something like Taylor Swift has the second most VMA awards now, only behind Beyonce. I think Beyonce has something like 30 awards, and she may have 23, which is crazy because Taylor Swift's whole career took off when Beyonce, when what's his name, when Kanye went up on the stage and pretty much stole a moment from her and said that Beyonce deserved the award. It seemed like she just shot into orbit after that time, but it is what it is. We saw some of the old school rappers up there and everything else. Like I say, Slick Rick was up there with Dougie Fresh. So I couldn't watch it all. I'll be honest, it would be too much. Shout out to my man Nightfall. It's been too much to try to stomach that and watch all of that stuff right there. It was just like I couldn't do it. I had to watch it though and just see exactly what was what. I know uh some of the folks on YouTube talk about it was just crap and this and that or whatever, and they couldn't stomach it, they couldn't watch it or whatever. And yeah, people still my son wanted to know like, were you gonna watch this? I say I want to know, but was I gonna watch it? I told him I'd be on the podcast. Like I'm not gonna be watching this thing here, but a televised strip show. Yeah, it was a strip show. Like I say, the one NL Chopper, whatever. I think NL Chopper got up there, and the girls literally looked like they had on white G strings. It wasn't quite G strings, but everything is see through. Everything the girls bent over backwards, shaking it, popping it, and I just think like some of the times I used to watch the award shows back in the '90s, and like my mom and aunts and stuff, when they saw like certain people dressed with provocative, you hit them, oh my God, look, I could just imagine now if they saw these actual award shows, like seeing what the actual women got on and everything else. Yo, you might as well not be wearing nothing up there. DJ, you caught any of that award show last night, man? I know we was in the space, but did you catch any of the replay of anything? Shout out to my girl Rera. I see you up in the space too, so shout out to you, Rera. I don't know if DJ up in the space, y'all, but I know he was up in here. But anyways, I just had to touch up on it or whatever. But this was like a strip show, it was like a strip tease. Nightfall said I haven't watched a music award show since Snoop and his folks got in that brawl. What brawl was that? Was that the '98 Source Awards or something like that? I know the Source Awards. They used to always be up in there fighting about the fight. The Source Awards from his founding was like they was already about to get into it. So yeah, the Source Awards, and they had another one in Orlando called the Ozone, which was like a I don't want to say a B version, but was a lesser version. It definitely it dealt with more of the Southern artists as well too. It didn't have the publicity, but yeah, some of these things was like they was definitely they was hooded. They was hood. It was definitely hood. So you know it was good. It was back in the '90s. I think it had to be around. I think it had to be around '98 Nightfall when because one of those award shows E40 got stabbed at, if I'm not mistaken, or I believe, or somebody tried to stab E40 or something like that. If I'm wrong, forgive me, but I know at one of them award shows E40 got into it with somebody, and I don't know if they tried to stab E40 or something, or one of the artists they tried to stab. But you're right, like it was always constant beefs. With rappers, they always have these beefs, and then once you get into the actual building with people, and then this person got an entourage, that person got an entourage, ain't no telling what could pop off. But man, it's a when did the VMAs come out? Back in the early '80s? I think I might have been like 3 or 4 or something like that. Madonna. I think Madonna was like one of the first ones to actually win these awards and stuff like that or whatever. But it's crazy, man. It like the lack of talent. And I know people, I hate to say that because when you say lack of talent and stuff, and I want to give the artists, yeah, you had a few of them that was pretty decent in there. So I don't want to just throw salt because people are like, oh, you sound like one of them old niggas hating. I don't want to throw salt or whatever, but it's kind of hard to watch that, man. It's kind of hard to watch that on the real. But for anybody that can watch it, more power to you. If you got kids and they want to sit up here and talk about watching it, my son, he was in his room watching it. Like I said, I had to actually talk about it. I had to actually watch certain performances, but no way in hell could I watch however long that thing lasted. I don't know if it was 2-3 hours. No way in hell. I watched some performances. I watched some videos and stuff on YouTube, but could not, would not, cannot watch the entire thing. So shout out to you guys coming up in the space too, man. I don't know if you guys been hearing about this situation with the NBA player, the Houston Rocket, Kevin Porter. A lot of different stories coming out in a developing story. It's really at this point in time, because I believe his girlfriend released a statement today saying people shouldn't jump to conclusions and this and that or whatever. I don't know what the conclusions are because whatever it was, he got arrested. He did. I see he posted like a $75,000 bill, and he had something like 100,000 something else. I forgot what it was. He had 100,000 as well too. I'm gonna touch up on that story. I know you guys also saw the video that went viral of the actual. You had an actual Asian fraternity in the University of Oklahoma, and they were strolling, and that caught the attention of a lot of black folks. That caught the attention of a lot of black folks on Twitter, and they were kind of upset that they felt like the Asians were were biting the black style as well too. And a lot of people had something to say about it because they feel like, hey, y'all don't rock with us, but y'all actually do like, you know, take a lot of our style. And that's another thing, man. I see a lot of these Asian hip hop groups and stuff on the VMAs, like, yo, like even like the white people don't even dance anymore like they used to. They bobbing their heads and they arms and everything, like black folks and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, like everything from the culture has been shifted and taken. So but yeah, I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about the Gullah Geechee. Of course, we know the Gullah Geechee. They are having they're trying to fight to preserve their lands from developers, and they have a fight on their hands at this moment up there in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, certain areas that they've been living in for hundreds of years now. There's another potential attack by investors trying to go ahead and get that property and flip it out and everything else and squeeze the people out, raise, you know how they do, come in there basically gentrifying. So nothing, even though this is supposed to be historic property, when it comes to black people, nothing is really historic or safe enough. So everything is always open for negotiation, open to be taken and developed and this and that or whatever. So those are the stories tonight. Those are what we're going to touch up on. Glad to have you guys up in the space. Definitely go ahead and tweet the space out. DJ, real quick, are you up in the space? See, I don't know. DJ, sometimes he be here, and sometimes I know he's working on stuff too. Nightfall, you said, yeah, you saw that. You saw that with the Asians that pissed you off. Yeah, can't really blame you. Let me go ahead and get up into this. Get up into this story real quick about the basketball player Kevin Porter Jr. And like I say, it's still a developing story at this point in time. I heard some people say that I've even heard, and I can't confirm that, but I heard some people saying that the actual girlfriend has refused to talk to the cops or whatever. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I can expect that, with this here, he's going to probably be suspended, definitely. But, I don't know exactly what's what. Got the actual article up in the Jumbotron from Black Sports Online. I'm actually go to the website and actually read that, guys. I'm actually go to the website and read that. Also, for those on YouTube, the actual articles for the night are also in the description. The articles tonight are in the description. So let me go ahead real quick and touch up on that and get to that. DJ, can you hear me? Are you up in the space? Yeah, I don't know where DJ at. Because I know sometimes you go to these sites and it makes the damn space actually freeze too. So, oh Lord, let me see what's up because it looks like the space. I'm trying to find you. Let me see what's up. All right. All right. You guys can still hear me. If you can still hear me, because I just went to the space and it kind of blacked out. If you guys can hear me, give a thumb up real quick before I actually read this article. Give me some kind of hand pump, thumb up, fist, anything. Let me know that the audio is still good in the space. Let me know that the audio is good, everybody, before I actually go and go to the actual site and try to read up on this. If you guys are hearing me, listening to me, Rerod, Tony. Okay, Facil, you say that I'm good. Nightfall, I know y'all good on YouTube. It's the space that I'm worried about. It's the actual Twitter space that be messing up. So, hey DJ, you still ain't there, man? I don't know. DJ done went to the store or something, I guess. But let me go ahead and get to this story real quick. Let me read it real quick for this damn space. Okay, the title is Kevin Porter Jr. allegedly rammed his car into his WNBA girlfriend's car during a dispute. Houston Rocket player Kevin Porter Jr. finds himself in a precarious situation after being arrested for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. The details of the incident have recently emerged, painting a disturbing picture of physical abuse as the investigation unfolds. Porter Jr.'s future hangs in the balance with potential repercussions both within the legal system and the NBA. According to a criminal report filed by his girlfriend, Porter Jr. repeatedly punched her in the face, causing a significant gash above her right eye, bruising and substantial pain. Additionally, she claimed that he forcefully grabbed her neck, resulting in difficulty breathing, bruising, and loss of motion in her left arm. Hospital testing confirmed her allegations. These are grave accusations that, if proven true, have severe consequences for Porter's personal and professional life. They said that the actual X-ray, I guess, revealed that she actually had a fractured vertebrae in her neck as well, too. Following his arrest, Porter Jr. faced an arraignment where the court set terms for his release. The NBA star was ordered to post $75,000 in cash or obtain a $100,000 bond to secure his release. Furthermore, he was instructed to stay away from the girlfriend. The significant bail amount reflects the seriousness of the charges and underscores the potential legal ramifications Porter Jr. may face. Reports suggest that this is not the first time Porter Jr. has assaulted his girlfriend, allegedly, indicating a pattern of abusive behavior. Cops say that Porter Jr. rammed her car into his. The NBA and Commissioner Adam Silver may consider placing Porter Jr. on administrative leave pending thorough investigation. If found guilty, Porter Jr. could face legal penalties, including potential jail time, fines, or mandated counseling programs. Moreover, the NBA could impose additional disciplinary measures such as suspension or termination of his contract. The situation is taking a disturbing turn with threats of violence against Porter Jr. coming from the girlfriend's sister. While emotions may run high among family members involved, resorting to threats and violence is unacceptable. It is crucial for all parties to allow the legal process to unfold, for justice to be served through the proper channels. The Houston Rockets organization faces a delicate situation as they navigate the fallout from Porter Jr.'s arrest. They must be careful, consider the response, balancing the need for due process with a commitment to maintaining a safe and respectful environment for the players and staff. The team's actions will likely depend on the outcome of the investigation and legal proceedings. The allegations against Porter Jr. involving the assault on his girlfriend are deeply troubling. As the legal process unfolds, it is essential to allow the facts to come to light and for justice to be served. The consequences for Porter Jr., both within the legal system and the NBA, could be severe if the allegations are proven to be true. Ultimately, it is crucial to prioritize the well-being and safety of all individuals involved and to ensure appropriate actions are taken to address this serious matter. So yes, this is definitely something that can definitely impact his career. Definitely. This is no joke right here. This is a very, very serious situation right here. I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Like I say, from what they're saying, from what some people are saying, and I can't confirm it. Some people are saying that she is not talking to the actual, she's not talking to law enforcement at this point in time. So we'll see exactly what's what at this point in time. I don't really know Kevin Porter Jr. like that. I catch some NBA games. I'm not a biggest fan as I used to be. I know he plays with the Houston Rockets, so I can't say that I really know much about the young man. And this situation has been making the rounds. I tweeted out a couple articles, and it's all over the internet. It's all over the media. It's everywhere. And, that they keep showing pictures of him being arrested and walked out. And I've heard different things about the girl running up and down the hotel, screaming, asking for help. And people talk about, like I said, what I just read, they're talking about that she had a fractured vertebrae in her neck. So yeah, this is serious. People talking about ramming cars and other people. So yeah, his career is potentially is in jeopardy at this point in time. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Of course, you have suspensions, you have counseling, you have this, you have that, but at this point in time, and then it seems like from what the article was trying to suggest that apparently he has a pattern or something like this. I don't know if him and the girlfriend have had a relationship where, they've had the back and forth and whatnot, but it's definitely something worth monitoring. It's definitely, I want to see exactly how the NBA is going to handle this as well too, because, people are looking at the NBA, Adam Silver, they have to worry about the response and the image of the NBA as well too. I'm wondering exactly, because sometimes you don't need the NBA to suspend you either. The actual team can suspend you if they feel like the behavior is detrimental to the actual team's image and everything else like that. So, I really don't know much about this young man. I don't know if Ray, I don't know if you guys know anything about Kevin Porter Jr. I'm not, because he's not from, and I could be wrong, but like I said, I don't cover the NBA, follow the NBA like I used to. I used to be a diehard NBA fan, still a Laker fan, but I don't, he's not like a superstar, or, I don't know if he's a all-star related type player, because it didn't say anything about him being an all-star caliber player. So, I don't know exactly. I don't know what type of contract he has. One thing about the NBA I can say is that the contracts are guaranteed, unlike professional football. So at least your contracts are guaranteed. And, you're gonna get your money. But you know, and I'm hoping that the girl is okay because we're hearing a fractured vertebrae in her neck. I'm hoping that she's okay physically. That sounds like a hell of a lot of pain to have a fracture in your damn neck. So just hoping that nothing to the point that nobody seriously gets hurt. We see how things be going off of what's the rapper name Blueface and his girl what's her name Carishan Rock or Carizon Rock or whatever her name, like I know they was constantly going back and forth, and you see her walking around with a grill all jacked up because a tooth is missing and whatnot. So you definitely don't want to have anything like that going on. And I don't know how long they've been together, but it seems like from what the article was saying, like I said, I can't confirm it. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. The article was trying to imply like it's been some kind of tipsy turvy type relationship or whatever. So I don't know exactly. Like I say, I don't. Up until a couple of days ago, I didn't even know who this brother was, to be honest. Like I said, and I follow basketball some, not to the level that I once did, but I don't know this brother. I outside of just seeing these reports coming and stuff like that, and I saw it and I was like, oh, next thing I know, it was on every major like outlet everywhere. Just whatever major media outlets you can think of, whether it's the actual newspaper, online, YouTube, you name it, whatever, social media, it's everywhere. So I don't know. Even though I know that people are saying that the girl is not actually talking to the cops or whatever, we know in cases like this, the actual prosecutors could come in, and the DA could come in, and whether she talks or not, they can go ahead and they can press charges and file charges and everything else like that as well too. So this is like I said, I don't want to speculate. You right, like I don't want to speculate nightfall, so I don't totally know. Let me read a couple questions on YouTube. Shout out to FBA Goddess. I see you up here in the speakers section as well too, FBA Goddess. So shout out to you. If you guys know anything else about the situation, feel free to keep us informed too, because like I say, I got a feeling that this, and we talked about the Mel Tucker thing the other night as well too, and that's a developing situation as well too. That story's not over with Mel Tucker and the woman that accused him of the hanky panky on the phone. So that situation is still going on. So we're gonna see exactly how that plays out. We had some fool. I know DJ was saying some fool told him earlier, talking about Mel Tucker makes all black coaches look bad. I'm like, man, if you don't get the hell out of here, like Mel Tucker, out of all of you got in major football, you got something like 120 some odd teams. Out of 120 some odd teams, how many of them actually got black head coaches? If you don't get out of here, you may have 20 some odd teams that may have black head coaches, 25 teams out of 120 some teams. So I don't think so, my friend. I do not think so. I'm gonna get to the other. I want to get to the actual Asian as well. Them doing the strolling. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm also real quick. I'm gonna talk about the Gullah Geechee and their fight to maintain the historic land that they got as well too. I want to read a couple comments from my man Nightfall over here, because Nightfall always he keeps me entertained over here in YouTube land as well too. And shout out to you guys coming up in the space. I see my girl Troubles up in here as well too. Black Majority State. What's up? What's up? What's up with you guys? Sun Gaze, I see you way at the bottom of the screen as well too. So shout out. I see Black Delegation up in here as well too. So shout out to the family and whatnot. We're gonna be talking about this. I definitely want to get some participation. I want to hear some of you guys what you think about this. Um, Definitely with the Kevin Porter situation. Like I say, that's a developing story, and we'll see what goes on with that. So okay. Nightfall was saying, and Nightfalls, he's already talking about the actual Asian situation. He talking about damn Asians been popping their collar with that anti-Asian hate bill they got and painting at and pointing at us. But now you want to have a frat like ours? FOH. FOH. Nightfall also says, I wonder how much trouble his girlfriend would get in when it turns out that she's the cause of this issue. Well, oh boy. Let me go ahead and get the FBA Goddess. FBA Goddess, shout out to you and your YouTube channel as well, too, sister. I went ahead and I subscribed the other day as well, too. So shout out to you.
Hey, thank you so much. Hold on one second. I wanted to ask about what happened, because I didn't even know and didn't hear about what happened. So I was just listening to what you were talking about. You said that was his girlfriend that he jumped on like that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be his girlfriend. Girlfriend got a long name, and I wasn't trying to pronounce it, but yeah, the girlfriend. That's his girlfriend. That apparently, and the girlfriend's an ex WNBA player. She's a WNBA player, and I think she got cut from a team. I assume that she's still a current WNBA player, but the girlfriend, yeah, she's actually a WNBA player.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm like, he beating people up like that. He need to be well. Hell, yeah. Now we need to handle him. That's what it needs to be done. No, he don't need to go to jail. We can handle our own. He needs to be handled because that's terrible. Beating on the women like that, I don't get it. It's no reason for that at all, none whatsoever. Now I don't know what you're talking about what is the frat strolling? What is that?
Well, let me go ahead and read it real quick so you can hear it. Let me read it real quick. This is from the Chicago Defender. It's also up in the jumbotron. It says viral video of Asian fraternity strolling has Black Twitter buzzing. A predominantly Asian fraternity at the University of Oklahoma has gone viral after video showed them strolling the Doja Cat's "Kiss Me More." In the viral video, members appeared to move in unison and a line through a crowded auditorium. The frat was established in 2002 at OU as a first Asian interest fraternity, according to the organization's website. It is an organization for anyone with interest in the history, philosophy, and culture of Asia, looking to learn personal leadership skills and form lifelong relationships. The fraternity seeks to help individuals realize their potential as contributing members of society by first understanding themselves. A statement from the fraternity reads: at least two black men appeared to be among I think the name is a two Kappa Omega, the Tuya Kappa Omega members strolling in the video. So a number of social media users accuse a predominantly Asian fraternity of cultural appropriation. Black Americans are the most imitated ethnic group in the world today, the Twitter user wrote alongside the video. I believe that was Cornbread Mafioso. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of our culture being used for likes and social media engagement when none of these cultures like us at all. Is sickening. Another person chimed in. Dwayne McHale says stepping is a part of our African culture that members of the Divine Nine Incorporated as part of our African American experience. Members of this organization are treating it like some new dance they just halfway clumsily learned, a third social media user pointed out. Hell no, please leave our FBA style alone. Hell, if we fart a certain way, everyone would like to fart like us, said MBM Online. So that's what it's about, real quick, sister. It's about this fraternity at the University of Oklahoma. The video went viral. They were showing them doing strolling and everything else. And then, black folks saw that online. And you kind of had a back and forth. And you had some black folks even came in and talk about, why y'all bothering them? Leave them alone. Y'all worried about little things about strolling. Well, we need to be like the Asians and learn how we can go ahead and create infrastructure and have businesses and stuff. Why don't we learn about let everybody want to worry about little stuff that people copy from us? We need to worry about the big stuff and copy it from them. So that's pretty much what it was about. Just to make a long story short, but yeah, it was a lot of black folks got upset. They felt like they was biting. And if you saw the VMAs, and it's like this little Asian group, man, like I swear, like everything, like the swag from black people, like people just straight up taking it. Cause I see, and shout out to no hate Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was doing a thing, but I saw Taylor Swift vibing with her hand pumping up back and forth and whatnot. I was like, holy what in the world? Like everybody. Shout out real quick. Let me go ahead and get this. They say Beyonce's tour, I think, made something like $500 million more than even Taylor Swift's tour. So shout out to Queen Bey. She did her thing. She's still the reigning queen. And I know, like I said, I know Taylor Swift racked up last night with the VMAs. She won like 9 awards. But shout out to Beyonce. That Renaissance tour she had was a complete monster. And, she went ahead and if there was any doubt about it, she solidified her spot still, like she ain't going nowhere. So got to go ahead and put that out there. But yeah, FBA goddess, that's what it was about. Would you like to say something about that? About the actual? Because you got to see the actual video though. The article don't really do it justice. Like somebody find that video and put it up in the jumbotron. You got to actually see them. Like hearing me read it is one thing, but actually seeing them actually do they little stroke like that, yo. That's what you got to actually see right there. You see that, then you're like, yeah, I think y'all need to go ahead and take a seat over there in the corner, sit down for a little bit, and relax yourself. Let me give a quick shout out to my girl Rerod. Rerod, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. But if you see that video, you kind of can understand why some black folks kind of got upset with black people. Come on, let's be honest. Your coach is gonna keep getting ripped off. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. It'd be nice if people, went ahead and put sore stuff on it and at least go ahead and put the accreditation to the actual originators and the authors of things as well. But you know, it is what it is. Because I know when that art, when that video did circulate, you had some white folks up. Look at them, yeah, black people didn't create no fraternities. What are y'all talking about? People like, yeah, we ain't saying we created the fraternities. We saying what they're doing is a black creation. So, that's what I want to touch up on real quick. Also, let me go ahead and get to this article about the Gullah Geechee and anybody that wants to speak tonight as well too. Hey DJ, you back in the space or not? Yeah, you had got ghost for a minute. I was like, I called your name for a minute. I'm like, oh, he Hey, real quick before I touch up on the Gullah Geechee, I'll touch up on the Gullah Geechee and then I'll come back to you real quick. This article is from Black Enterprise, and it says the Gullah Geechee community fighting to preserve land under attack by the state officials. Like I said, that article's up in the Jumbotron. All the articles, guys, if you're in the Twitter space or on the right-hand side of the Jumbotron, go ahead and check them out if you want to check them out, but definitely go ahead and retweet them out. Go ahead and retweet them so we can go ahead and get more people to actually check them out and look at the articles. So for those in the YouTube, all the articles are in the description as well too, guys. So you can also check those out as well too. It says nationwide members. Oh, let me go back to the article. A Georgia Gullah Geechee community fighting to preserve land under attack by state officials. Nationwide members of the Gullah Geechee community are fighting to preserve their rights to land that has been protected for decades against growing pressure from developers and ever-increasing taxes. The latest battle is taking place on Cipolo Island off the coast of Georgia. According to NBC News, McIntosh County commissioners have unveiled a proposal to do away with zoning ordinance that limit houses to modest sizes near the dwellings of about 30 to 50 black residents. The rules introduced in 1994 fall under the Culture Protection Overlay CPO and have protected the residents of Hammock along with other Gullah Geechee communities throughout several coastal islands in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. It's the erosion of a historical culture that's still intact after 230 years, said Reginald Hall, a Hog Hammock landowner whose family roots are deeply connected to the island, told NBC News, once you raise those limits and the land value increases, we only have 2 to 3 years at most. If you talk about the descendants of the enslaved, 90% of us will be gone. Cipolo Island sits 60 miles south of Savannah and is only reachable by boat, making it the perfect attraction for those looking to build massive vacation homes that could price local residents off the land. Due to this isolation from the mainland, its descendants have been able to maintain their culture, traditions, and customs, including their language. According to NBC News, Hog Hammock was added to the National Registry of Historic Places in 1996, the official list of America's treasured historic sites. Now its residents are dependent on the ruling of the local government in McIntosh County, where 65% of the 11,000 residents are white, to help preserve their legacy. Currently, Hog Hammock is recognized as a community with unique needs in regards to its historic resources, but the proposed legislation would eradicate that recognition and allow developers to demolish structures on the island as they see fit. So this is definitely something. Let me see what my man Nightfall says. He says, Nightfall says, how much you want to bet this is, how much you want to bet undercover this is a dig at our brother Greg Dixon, because Gullah Geechee land appropriation is his heart. Like, I wonder, I know Marcel's got to know about it because he's up there as well too. So, and he's a descendant of the folks, and a lot of black people in this country are actually descendants of Gullah Geechee. Like they say, 3-4 states worth of people, this is really something. This is just pretty much, once again, gentrifiers coming in, trying to take up the actual property, take up the actual land. So very serious issue. and this is a historic, and the fact that you have something that's labeled as being historic, and the fact that you can have people come in there and just pretty much just price people out of homes that they've been in for hundreds of years. For hundreds of years, these people have been there. Now you can go ahead and pretty much just price them out, lets you know about the almighty dollar, how it works in America as well too. So this is something right here now that really needs, and that's why I say go ahead and definitely retweet this article out. You know, say what you want to about the actual fraternity thing or whatever. Say what you want to about the actual brother that he has his legal battle coming up, Kevin Porter Jr. But the fact of the matter that you have people that's been on those in that section in those islands for hundreds of years, and now they potentially within a couple years, like the brother said, potentially in a couple years, 2 to 3 years at most, they come in and they start building all this expensive stuff. They're gonna go ahead and they're gonna lose their property. You talk about family property. So this is a very, very, very serious issue right here. Very serious. DJ, what's up with you tonight, man? What's up with Trouble and everybody else as well, too, man? So this is something that definitely the grassroots can definitely organize around as well, too. And this is something that definitely needs to be brought to attention. We don't have we really don't have the actual base to really get it out there like that, but you guys can definitely help. Everybody in this space has followers. That's why I say it's always good to go ahead and retweet things out. That's how you get things rolling. So from this space right here, we can go ahead and we can start getting this information out there as much as we can, until some of the bigger influencers see it and they start actually, talking about it and sharing and spreading it. And then it starts to pick up steam. So that's something that we all can do. Like I say, go ahead. It's up in the Jumbotron. Let me see where it's at. I said it was on the left-hand side, but it's actually on the right-hand side, guys. Or is it up? What in the world? Okay. It's the actual, let me see. It's the matter of fact, it's the first on the right on the right-hand side. So definitely go ahead and retweet that out. And definitely go ahead and let's try to go ahead and try to do something about this as well too. You definitely don't want to see it. I mean, this is historic right here. We always talk about our roots, and everybody talks about FBA freedmen. They talk about being indigenous, and these people are all of that. They're all of that. These are some of these people descend from some of the fiercest warriors this country's ever known. Sat there and went to war, and was able to go ahead and for a long, long time live at peace as well too. So we definitely need to go ahead and get this story as much attention as possible, guys. Definitely, like I say, definitely let's do our part. Let's go ahead, let's tweet this out. Let's go ahead and let's hope that this gains some steam. I can remember, now let's be honest, we can see from what like these Twitter spaces what they can do at times. We saw just from those Twitter spaces what we were able to gain national attention for the actual Colorado farmers. People went from having it like three spaces on Twitter was able to go ahead and got to the point that you start getting major traction about the actual Colorado farmers. I even heard it on the DL Hughley show. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like this stuff can start off small, but then it can actually build up. So there's definitely something worth putting out there, guys. So let's definitely do our part to go ahead and get it out there. Let's make sure you go ahead. If you got to tag some of the larger accounts, tag people in the new black media, tag people in mainstream media, tag celebrities, just tag anybody you can tag. It don't just limit it. Go ahead and tag people that you think that may actually respond, may actually see this, may actually retweet it out, may actually comment on it. Let's go ahead and try to do what we can do as well too, guys. Because like I said, it's happening. They're coming for it, and they're at the mercy. The county, the place that they're at is 65% white. So what do you think is going to happen? The rest is 65% white with a little bit over 11,000 residents. So, they're in the minority. So you can pretty much expect to see exactly what's going to happen. Nightfall say, don't forget Mason, Tennessee. Yeah, Mason, Tennessee. Yeah, Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. Got that out there as well too. So yeah, Twitter Spaces also help push the actual Jackson, Mississippi water crisis. I know we held a bunch of spaces on that, the water crisis and stuff in Jackson, Mississippi and stuff like that too. So yeah, one of the first ones that actually started really holding Twitter
You
spaces.
say Mason,
Yeah,
Mason, Tennessee.
yeah, Mason, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, because we were one of the first ones actually holding spaces on Jackson, Mississippi, and stuff like that in the water crisis. So yeah,
And
we
so you remember me and you? We broke that story on the Buffalo shooting.
you broke that story and you put me on like you broke it and put me on and I came up into space. Yeah, you actually broke it. I saw it from you. I'm like, what in the world? Came up into space and like, damn, like, yeah, you broke the action. I'm like, oh Lord. So you actually broke it, FBA goddess. You were the one that was on it. I didn't even, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know about that. And so shout out to you, sister. That's what I'm saying, man. Everybody in the space has that ability. We're in the information era. You know what I'm saying? With the advent of the internet and social media, everybody in it has a potential to break a story or get it out there, circulate it. Even if we don't break it, and that's not even we don't even have to worry about breaking it. We can just help go ahead and get that story out there. And that's what we need to go ahead and look at and do right now. So definitely go ahead and do that. Tag Marcel up in the post. Tag whoever up in the post, guys. You know, let them know what's going on exactly. I know our people got to know. Marcel's definitely a bright man, so I know he's up in that area, so he knows exactly what's going on. Because Marcel, he when we was talking about the Jackson, Mississippi water crisis, he was talking about other cities and stuff that had issues as well too. So definitely, let's go ahead and do our part as much as possible, guys. Let's go ahead that's why I say let's use these spaces. Sometimes, sometimes there's so much content and news and stuff out there. I'm honestly don't know exactly what to do with space on. To be honest, it's like you can only cover so much. You only have so much time and stuff like that as well too. But I definitely want to go ahead and put that up here in the as one of the topics tonight because, like I say, it is very very important. You're talking about a historical era, right? Something that should be this shouldn't even be touched. The property out there, straight up, it should not even be touched. Trouble, what's going on with you tonight? How you doing?
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to everybody in the space. I'm doing a whole lot. I cannot remember a time when Gullah Geechee land wasn't up for grabs in some way, shape, or form, especially here in South Carolina. It's since I've been here, and I've been here for 20 some years now. It's always they've been fighting for their land, and it's sad that you have to say it that way. You have to fight for your own land. And since I've been in the South, they've been fighting for their lands. They've been fighting for the right to keep their land, fighting for people to stop trying to take their lands, from creating laws that could take their lands. And at this point, I don't know what can be done, because if white folks can't get your land from eminent domain, which is one of the last courses of what they do, then they create laws to make it detrimental to you tax wise to be able to go ahead and get the land grab in, because they know that a lot of people who own that land are elderly folks or have passed it down to their younger generations, and they cannot afford the taxes and everything that's going to come from the new laws that they set in place. And so they always find a way to go around when they want to steal from you. And so this is, I don't know. I don't know what can be done about it at this point, because they have been fighting for a very long time and in so many different ways. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. This is going to take a little bit of thought, and but they've, as far as I've known, for a long time, they've been fighting for it. As far as this Kevin Porter Jr. situation, I was reading where they said, he kind of attacked old girl while she was laying down, sleeping in bed. I don't know if that meant he went through her phone, seeing something he didn't like, or he was some kind of narcotic or something, because you got to be doing something silly to just attack somebody in that manner while they're sleeping. You don't even give them the opportunity, to be awake and alert before you just jump on them in that manner. So I'm looking forward, I guess, to more evidence or information to come out about that case. But for what I know about that case right now, that was some insidious foolishness, and whatever happens to bruh happens to bruh. I can't cake for people like that inside the community, because if you'll do it to your own girlfriend, you'll do it to your own people who have no connection to you in that manner. And it's like and I don't even want to say it's this generation because it isn't, because we know that violence has always been around, but that's just crazy to me. And he's a public figure, so that kind of makes it a little bit worse, so just more fuel to the fire of what people like to talk about when it comes to Black people in general. The Frats Strolling. Everybody love Black American culture, baby, but they don't love the people that come with it. But then they need us to be around so that we can continue to create the culture in which they steal from. There's so many people that so many different groups don't really seem to have an original thought of their own, and they take from us. And I guess it is what it is at this point. But I guess I don't know what it is we're looking for. Maybe just some respect. Put some respect on Black Americans' names. Stop always being so willing to have something negative to say about us, even though you copy us. And it's not even just about the entertainment aspect as far as dancing. We get copied in every way, shape, and form that you can even think of. So, hell, even Melania Trump was stealing Michelle Obama's speeches. Like, can we not even have an original thought without you all stealing it? But you don't want to give us the credit for it, and then you shun us in so many different ways. That it's astonishing that you would want anything from us. It's astonishing that you would even model your fraternity style after Black Americans, because you all have so much vitriol and hate for us. And again, that goes not just with the dancing and the entertainment and the frat thing, that goes with every other aspect of life, of things that Black Americans create that others steal or utilize, but they still turn around and have so much vitriol for us in the end. So that's pretty much all I have to contribute to the conversation on that. Now sit back and listen to the space. I'm a little tired tonight, but
No, that's fine. I'm glad you came up here, Trouble. Gave your 2 cents or whatnot. I figure you probably wouldn't have much to say about the VMAs. Like I say, I didn't get a chance. I didn't catch it live either. Because of course holding a space yesterday, but I went back today and I watched. I just caught some of it, like some of the videos and stuff they had on YouTube, some of the performances and some of the people on there and whatnot. And I figured that, hey, I would go ahead and touch up on that as well too, like the actual outfit. So, like I said, it's to the point that I don't even know why some of these girls even put anything on, because I mean, it don't leave nothing to the imagination no more. Like you can see everything.
yeah, I didn't even watch the VMAs, and I only knew that it was on TV because everybody was talking about it. I stopped subscribing to cable a long time ago, so my TV pretty much stays off unless I'm ready to watch something on a streaming site or whatnot. But I stopped watching the VMAs, the BET Awards, the MTV Awards, and all of these other award shows really years ago, because it's just it's flaky in a mug. It's not like how it was total when we was coming up, and it was a real show to watch. They had real entertainers on there that was really doing the thing, and you don't get that anymore. You get this degenerate foolishness, like you said, where the females coming up there with strings on, really, because you're not leaving anything to the imagination. And I think somebody had posted a picture of, what's that girl, Sukiana, or whatever her name is, and the caption was, the VMAs knew who I was before they invited me. And so, yes, you all know exactly what you're doing when you invite certain people to come up there and represent, because in the rest of the people's minds, these particular handful of Black people represent the whole collective. And so you know exactly what you're doing when you invite the Sukianas and the Little Reds or the Smexy Reds or whatever that child name is. Other people of that nature. So,
The sexy red chick, Trevor, not to cut you off, but wasn't that the one sitting up here bragging, talking about how many times she had got a STD or something?
yeah, that's the little STD girl, and the booty brown and the cootie pink or yellow or something or whatever. What name it after the colors of her body parts. Like, and then they're playing this foolishness on the radio station. Like, oh my god. So,
Yeah, like cause back in the day, and back in the day, nobody would sit up there and be sitting up here talking about how many STDs they got. Like, and the fact of the matter is, you sitting up here bragging about the amount of STDs you got is just yikes. Like, that should be like,
that's like how they bragging about body counts. Now, yeah, I done had, I got all of these body counts. I got the experience, and who brags about body counts and STDs? But you.
yes, it's a different day. I mean, I just across the board because you don't even have the kind of performers that you had. Be it black, white, because you had some good white performers even back in the day, but across the board, just the talent, like you say, Trouble is just it. And I know when you say stuff like that, a lot of people in this era get upset. They get mad. They say you hating, you old, you this, you that, or whatever. But I don't know, man. As a kid and a teenager, people growing up, people when older, my parents' generation them heard Mariah Carey them sing or Whitney Houston them sing, they may not have been their favorite singer, but they saw talent and they had to acknowledge it. They straight up like nobody's gonna tell you like they suck. They didn't. Oh yeah, she can't sing. Like I mean, that might not have been who they. That was their personal favorite or whatever like that. But you had to acknowledge talent and stuff like that. I just nowadays and stuff like that. It's just it's kind of hard, and I kind of had a discussion with my son. Sometimes he wants me to sit down and listen to certain music, and I tell him like, man, I can't listen to this. Like I sometimes just out of being nice, I'll listen to a little bit of it for a little bit, but that stuff almost make your head want to explode. I just no, I can't do that. What's up, Crappy? I see you up in the spot as well too over there on YouTube. And it's just like every dance that these chicks like, it's no originality. Like first thing they bending over so they got their behinds tooted up in the air. Like I mean, like, like I don't know. Like you had the Soul Train Music Awards, and I think the Soul Train Music Awards came out in the '80s. I just couldn't imagine like if back in the day, Don Cornelius was on stage and you know what I'm saying, and he had and the Soul Train Music Awards, and because that used to be really Soul Train had became like the Black people Grammys. I couldn't imagine that Don Cornelius would have been too happy with these girls bending over, cheeks hanging all out, and twerking and just shake. It's the same dances all the time too. It's the same. It's like I mean, back in the day, you had the Cabbage Patch, you had this, you had that, or whatever. It's like it's the same dance. It's like it's like I'm not gonna create a dance. I'm just gonna do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, no matter. And like certain dances too, you would think like certain crowds and stuff like that, like just certain dances ain't appropriate for certain crowds and stuff. But like I don't give a damn. So it's different. You used to go watch the award shows like with family, and then you could have your whole family watching and this and that or whatever. And I get it because a lot of older people at the time when they started bringing rap and hip hop into some of these award shows, like my parents weren't big on that and stuff like that. They could have done without it. They that wasn't a cup of tea or whatever. But it went to this point right here. Like if they was upset about the stuff coming on back in the '90s, they would have an actual heart attack nowadays. So it is something.
The dancing was definitely different back in that era. I mean, you see the dancers. They at first they doing the MC Hammer. Next thing you know, they done bust up and did the Cabbage Patch, and then they going straight from the Cabbage Patch into the Roger Rabbit. If you get to doing the Roger Rabbit, now you're doing the walk when you get to doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's the same thing. You do this no matter what it is, you dance in the exact same way. There are like it's all about twerking. It's all about hey, I'm gonna bend over and I'm gonna get down. If it ain't twerking, the entire dance involves your behind. The entire dance, if you're a female, the entire dance involves your behind, showing your behind. Either you're gonna get on the float, do a split, you're gonna do something to go ahead and it's going to be sexual. And the dances weren't always sexual.
Yeah, I can imagine if my mom was still alive, she would be looking at these girls like somebody ain't used to having a ass on them, that she ain't got used to her ass yet, or the Suki with the good coochie ain't used to having good cookie by now. Like, every woman got her own box. And, it's the cookie being good is kind of subjective. So you just make your cookie the best cookie out of. It's almost like they're not used to having these little body parts, and you got to put it on display all the time, and you got to make it a point to reference that all the time. Like that is the be all and the end all. That's all that you have going for you is a good cookie and some. That cookie don't get old. Sooner or later. So when that cookie get old and wrinkly and it ain't producing the juices it used to, what you can do? When that booty start to be a little bit flabby, you know what I'm saying? What you could be twerking then? The wrinkle up bones on the back of your backside. I mean, what you could do? So I wish they would quit promoting it so much. You don't even see the male dancers the way that they used to have male dancers on stage all the time, like tearing it up. You had Heavy D's dancer, you had Hammers dancers. Like, can we bring back the male dancers so that we can stop looking at the females twerking all over the place because there's no originality? You could only twerk but so much. You could only do a twerk but so many different ways. I mean, it all looked the same.
Yeah, because the men was getting it. The men, you had the men up there getting it even more than the women up there dancing. Like you're right. Like it was all about. I mean, even in hip hop, and as it started evolving in hip hop, you started seeing less dancing and less dancing. But LL, Big Daddy Kane, them, Kid and Played them. Everybody be up there trying to dance and whatnot. And then it kind of got to the point where it was like, well, even in hip hop, it kind of got to the point where nigga, I'm too hard to be up here dancing. It's just started to change. But even the white girls up here twerking, they twerking. They doing the same thing to black girls. They we got to get it. We gonna get up here. We gonna twerk as well too. Or if they not twerking and they pretty much doing the choreography that the black people do and stuff like that. So it's like, whoa, like it's like everything is either we gonna copy what they do or we gonna do the exact same thing. It's like it's no originality whatsoever, man. It's like yikes. It's and like I said, I can give credit due. You know what I'm saying? You do got you have some talented young artists out there. So I don't want to hate anything like that, but it's just you just don't have the level that you once had. That to me, the actual depth of actual stars that you had out there. It's kind of it's kind of void right there. So but hey, you talk about Sookie them and this and they know what sells. That's the thing. Like it's like how much can you talk about your JJ? How much can you? I mean, and it's in every song. Like so they figure it's selling and it's selling because the VMAs they putting them out there. The BET Awards show they gonna put them out there. The radios, that's all it's talking about, and this and that or whatever, and and then what's the girl name that rap man? That she got to be from the South, country in the mud. What Glorilla? Because I think I caught some of Tariq podcast, and she was talking about Beyonce, and oh Lord, I forgot how she was talking or whatever. Because my son was like listening to her, and I'm like, who the hell is that rapping? I'm like, that's a girl. Holy shit. It's bad. It's bad enough when you got mumble mouth Negroes out here. Now we got mumble mouth females. Like, holy. Oh, boy.
Sounded like a whole dude. All right, hit him with the hip with her.
Yeah, I'm like, what? And then this girl about as big as your pinky right here. Like, what in the world? Holy, I'm like, oh my Lord, like, holy, what in the world are we talking about here? Damn, this girl like the size like of like a 10-year-old up here, and I'm just like, holy, okay, right. And then I see her always on Twitter and stuff, and she talk about how fat her behind is. I'm like, man, if you don't stop, girl, if you don't stop this mess right here, I don't know what Negro told you some crap like that, but if you don't stop. Now, it's one thing if you was Megan or something like that, or something like, well, stop. I don't know who told you that, but the nigga must have cataracts or something because I don't know. I certainly don't see that. Well, shout out to everybody up in the space, man. Yeah, we just talking about, and I'm sorry we went back on the VMA thing, but you got to see this, man. Like, but yeah, the VMAs, Kevin Porter Jr., the Asian fraternity strolling. The Gullah Geechee, like I said, the Gullah Geechee, and y'all definitely need to tweet that out because I see like nobody's retweeting that out. I think we got 3 retweets, but that's something like I say, we always talk about building our own this and our own that or whatever. It don't a retweet is free. Like it don't take nothing to retweet, especially something that's supposed to be important as well too. So definitely the fact of the matter that they're trying to rip off these people's land and everything else, and like you say, trouble is something that's always gone through. Definitely need to go ahead and definitely put that out there. DJ, what's up? You in the space still? Like I say,
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
did you get a chance to catch any of that VMA stuff as well too, or what?
Yeah, I'm with trouble. I don't really watch none of that stuff. I've been start watching BET, MTV, AMA. You know what I mean? Country Music Awards. Been start watching that stuff probably when I was like teenage years. Real shit. And I do music for a living. Trust me. You know what I mean?
Only I watch it because I figure like, hey, we do a space. I want to go ahead and include this in there as well too, and have a discussion about it. So I will go ahead and put it actually in there as well too. Did you get a chance? Because I know you probably been back and forth. We was talking about the Kevin Porter and the Asian fraternity strolling and the Gullah Geechee. You got anything that you want?
I got you and shit. You know what I mean? So the Kevin Porter thing, this shit is a sad situation. You know what I mean? 2 black folks going at it and shit, domestic violence situation. You know what I mean? So blessings up to the sister. And I don't know what's up with bro. Go get yourself some help, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's all I can say about it. And obviously, he's still innocent until proven guilty because it is what it is. Shit in America, you know what I mean? Even though we see what it is firsthand. Let's see that he was telling me about that I guess we'll get back to that. Like I said, the VMA thing, I've been start looking at that shit years ago, bro, because you already see, like, back then it was really still up what was about, like, these award WPIs being prejudiced to us artists. You know what I mean? It wasn't giving, the Jay-Z's and the Nas, the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't giving our folk the Daddy Kanes and the Coogee Raps the Grammys and shit. You know what I mean? The AMA awards and shit. We wasn't getting those. We had to fight for that shit. And then as we still continued to fight for it, the more ostracizing came. Even when it was black people at the helm at these voting fraternities, because the music is voted on by your peers and shit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no popular opinion, nothing. That's how these award shows go. But if all your peers are white, how you ever expect to win anything? This is why we needed the Don Cornelius of the world to have our own everything. This is why we talk this stuff when we talk up here, man. Get your on these WPRs. So, what else is going on up here? The Asian steppers, you're out of sync, you're out of tune, you look stupid. You know what I'm saying? I done seen that video so many times. A lot of the stuff that y'all seeing on the internet now is actually like old too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? We done seen stuff like that months, years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, some of these old videos that are 5 and 10 years old, 15 years old, they recirculating and shit. So it's like, it's brand new again. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's good for that point or whatever the case be. And let's see what else. The Gullah Geechee, what's that about again?
A land grab, trying to go ahead. You got developers trying to go ahead and snatch up their land.
Well, that's happening all over the world, bro. You see what happened to Hawaii. What's the OG name? Mr. Simmons, I believe his name is. It's down there in Texas, something like that. The Maoris, we broke that story. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. You know what I mean? I heard they got some veterans living on the land now and shit. You know what I mean? So that's good. You know what I mean? See, same thing here over in the northeast. This date, eminent domain dates back as far as them taking Seneca Village from us, which is the park up here in New York. You know what I'm saying? So same thing here in New York. We're being pushed out. Same thing in most major cities. We're being pushed out. Black state is the way. That's about it, man. So if black folks were to actually adopt a narrative like black state of America, that wouldn't even be happening. Nobody be talking about that shit. So taking somebody else's land. Think about it, yo. You know what I mean? So soxcial.com, come up on social, yo. You know what I mean? We're trying to build our black state up there. Newstoter up there. You know what I mean? A bunch of our folks is up there. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we ain't got no choice but to fund this shit ourselves, yo. You know what I mean? And it was some other land grab shit that was going on. Bruce's Beach was a land grab that got in there. There's a bunch of shit going on as far as land shit. The old lady, there's a couple of old ladies, black women that's trying to get their house taken too. Like I said, Mr. Simmons down in Texas, you know what I mean, who own that little bit, a lot of property down there. I think it's like, look like it's about 50 to 100 acres or something like that, land, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. This ain't nothing new. Eminent domain, man. Eminent domain. There you go. Go ahead, Top.
Real talk, man. You pretty much summed it up perfectly there. It's going on all around the world, and like Trouble said, it's been going on up there for a while.
Just real quick, the folks in Libya that just had that flood, even though I know we spoke about that last night, you know, it's fucked up. They talking about the 10,000 people going and shit, you know what I mean? But hey, man, everybody's sending aid to them. Nobody's sending aid to Katrina and shit, you know what I'm saying? Same thing, Hawaii, everybody crying about Hawaii. Where was Hawaii at when Katrina happened? Sandy and shit, you just went through a fucking hurricane. Shit happen regularly in Florida, but where white niggas be at to help Florida folks? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's real talk. Not only that, but it was a big blowback. People was talking about Oprah Winfrey them and stuff going over there because a bunch of rich people over there. They say Oprah got 1,000 acres over there.
They grifting, bro, and none of their properties got burned. Amazing somehow the fire forged his own path and shit. You know what I'm saying? To burn up everything else, man. You know what I'm saying? And the way that shit look out there, it is fucked up what happened. But hey, man, that's life, I guess, right? That's what y'all tell us. Get over it.
We'll see, and not only that, but they also, a lot of the people out there, they're pretty much afraid that hey, they're not gonna be able to, because Hawaii, let's be for real, is expensive as hell. And we always talk about the expensive states because Hawaii's so far out there. We don't even include Hawaii, but Hawaii's got to be one of the most expensive states as well too. But they're not gonna be able to afford that, and that's what they're worried about. That these wealthy land developers going to come in there and start taking up property, buying property and stuff like that as well too. So I personally never want to live no place where a damn volcano was at, just because hey, that's always a possibility, but they're gonna have a hard time affording it. I know what Bill Gates owned property out there, Oprah owned property out there. What was The Rock? Everybody was upset with Oprah and The Rock together. Does The Rock own property out there too? I could see him because he's Samoan or whatever, or half Samoan. Yeah, okay.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I can kind of see him him out there, because he is, like I say, half Samoan, half black or whatever. But people been going in on both of them or whatever about their involvement or whatever. And like you say, it is crazy that a lot of the rich people stuff didn't actually yeah, I'm not trying to play conspiracy theory because hell, you got a volcano. I guess it's just kind of by chance type thing as well too. Because that ash and everything, that lava goes erupting or whatever. It's just pretty much by chance. I guess they place didn't get knocked down or whatever, but it is what it is, man. For real, for real. Let me.
Right, and then don't forget about the little measly $700 a month they trying to give them the government. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't gonna add up to nothing. I lost everything.
Was it 700 a month or was it just a one-time $700 payment?
No, I think they was talking about like 700 a month, or I don't think it could have been a one-time payment. You just had a natural disaster. You know what I mean? That wouldn't work. And if they Americans, you should be getting money for FEMA every month. You know what I'm saying?
But see, FEMA was almost out of cash, from what my understanding. FEMA was running pretty low on flow. Yeah.
These government entities always running out of cash. You know what I'm saying? Same narrative what they talking to New York over here about the illegals and shit. Oh, we running out of cash. We need more money from the federal government. These politicians don't know how to create revenue. That's all y'all really got to pay attention to. This is what another narrative why they say they don't want to even talk about reparations or give it to us, because they don't know how to give it to us. Y'all print money. You just gave $350 billion Ukraine, $55 billion to Africa. Why you ain't sending none of that money to Libya to help repair those dams and shit and make it more structure proof? You know what I'm saying? Before them fucking the shits collapse or whatever the case, because they said so much rain came through there. But you go over and look at China, they be releasing waters from their dam and flooding their fucking communities, killing their people like it ain't no problem. You know what I'm saying? So why they most likely the same shit happen in Libya. You know what I mean? Give or take. Remember, that's more and more Gaddafi shit. He ain't there no more to protect that shit. You know what I mean?
Real talk, real talk. I don't know what's. Like I say, like you say, and then factor in the disasters that you just had with this hurricane that the one that hit Florida and Adalia, whatever the hell it's called. I don't even know where they came up with that name from, but yeah, that caused another $1 billion worth of damage.
Greek names, stupid ass Greek names. That's all it is. Latin Greek names. You know what I
mean? Yeah, I'm trying to think. How much did they say FEMA only had X amount of dollars left? And like you say, they can come up with it because they're getting ready. I'm sure they're going to go ahead and give some more money up to Ukraine and some of the other people and stuff around the country and the world and stuff like that. So they can go ahead. One thing, you can't go ahead and give money all throughout the world and then talk, but you don't have money to aid your own people like that. That's growing tiresome right there. You got the money to go ahead and shell it out for everybody else around the world. Then when a natural disaster hits, when people are starving or hungry over here, need clothing or whatever, you can go ahead and write that check. If you got money for everything else, the space project and this and that, and listen, I don't have any issue with the actual with people going to space and exploration and everything like that as well too. But if you can form these $100 billion space stations and all that other stuff, you can go ahead and make sure people on planet Earth have enough to eat, have clothes, have this, have that, or whatever. You got to worry about inflation, gas prices, and everything else that's going on as well too. So definitely go ahead and do what you got to do, man.
Right. People don't. That's why people trying to say it's not a black and white thing anymore. It's a rich and poor. Because these white folks,
they've been saying that crap for the long. It's not about race; it's about class.
Yeah, it's about class and shit. You know what I'm saying? Rich and poor. Kill your masters and shit. You know what I mean? Game of Thrones and shit. You know what I mean? So that's what they try to make it out to be. Because now they feeling the little pinch. You see what I'm saying? But hold on, white folks, y'all got $100 trillion in wealth. $100 trillion. Go ask your white folks for a loan. You know what I'm saying? You heard about the white dude that killed himself because he was trying to get a loan to I guess upkeep his business or whatever. Yeah, like 3 boys and shit. You know what I mean? He took his own life because he got denied of a loan. These banks ain't loaning nobody. Byron Allen already done told you. Hey, Obama, all you got to do if you're saying you're trying to help black people is go check and see if the banks are lending to black people. Home loan, auto loan, car loan, business loan. You ain't lending to us, banks. You're not lending. You don't want to give us no money. I'll be telling these banks through letters and emails, hey, y'all don't want to lend us. And now, have y'all heard that a judge, I think it was in Tennessee, shut down the SBA saying that a person must prove that race was the factor or their race was the factor of them not getting a loan. So now that all this affirmative action shit is gone, they coming for everything, yo. It's over with, yo. It's over.
Real talk there, bro.
We ain't gatekeeping our shit, you know what I'm saying? I know we complaining about the Asians and the Frats Strolling. Let's get on them real quick, too, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, again, y'all out of sync and ain't even stepping right now. Y'all look doofy as hell and shit. At least do it right. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do it at all, they must have just practiced just the weekend before and shit, you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, bro, I don't know, man, what to even say about that. The whole, what was it, a different world or whatever when they went to college and shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Different world.
I don't know what to say about that. You know what I mean? My shit is trade school, so I got degrees in trades. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's for the HBCU folks to speak up on. Same thing about everything we talked about, what happened, was going on over in Howard. You feel what I'm saying? With the kids dealing with, jokers coming up there fighting the students and shit. They dealing with the mold and the infestation of rats and rodents and shit. We shouldn't be living like this, man. But it is what it is, bro. It is what it is until black folks start stepping up and saying, "Hey, yo, I'm tired of this shit, yo." But I gotta always kind of come back and agree with AOC, who's black in America. Because the niggas up there, man, it's kind of like weird, man. This shit is weird. I don't even be outside like that anymore. Cause who the fuck's who? I know I'm around a bunch of Africans and different Caribbeans, but it's hard to tell who a nigga is nowadays, man.
Yeah, you ain't lying, damn. It sounds like it's raining outside my house. That's exactly what we needed. Some more rain. It was pouring down the other day, but you're right. Um, Pretty much with everything you say, I definitely agree with. I see some of our people up in here. I'm trying to see if anybody wants to come up here and speak tonight. You guys want to come up here and speak? We ain't have many speakers that much in the past few spaces. I'm surprised. Like certain topics, y'all be yapping away in, and other topics, y'all be quiet as kept. So definitely want to get back to the point where we start getting our people coming up in here and speaking their mind, because that does make the space better when our people actually going. So maybe we may have to switch some of the topics up, guys, because we definitely not getting that we definitely not getting that feedback like we was getting before. The other night we did have one of the rooms, in one of the spaces, we did have I guess a pretty good conversation that was going forth and whatnot, but y'all definitely been really, really, really quiet of late. So, we're gonna definitely try to find something. If you guys if it's some topics that interest you as well too, definitely go ahead and let us know. We try to go ahead and cover what's going on in Black America, not only Black America, but the news cycle as well too. So, there's so much going on that we just not exactly sure sometimes what to go ahead and put out there, because truthfully, we could put 10, 12 stories out there. So it's just pretty much just trying to find, what the people want to talk about, what they want to hear and stuff like that. Plus a lot of the stuff we talk about, you guys, you see it throughout the day or whatever too. So try to sometimes even find topics that nobody's really talking about and giving attention to it that it needs. Black Majority State, how you doing tonight?
Hello, hello. Talk DJ, Miss Trouble, everybody in the space. Yeah, I'm just enjoying listening. I work and everything. So I sometimes I just like to listen, and it kind of gives me something to do.
Oh, well, Black, I know you be working too. So like, no, and it's just like it's just good because it actually makes the space better and stuff like that when you have people. But I understand too that, and it's a number of our people that's in the space as well too that actually work at nighttime and stuff like that too. So we understand, and some of our people they'll come up sometimes, and we understand that. But we definitely like to go ahead and get as many people up as possible just to hear what everybody's saying and how they feel about certain topics and stuff like that. Because like I say, we want to talk about the issues that our people, that they want to talk about. And sometimes, sometimes we're going to come up with issues and stuff that maybe nobody's talking about that needs to be talked about as well too. But I definitely, I know when you get a chance, you come up in the space and you talk and stuff like that as well too. So a lot of times people tell me like, hey, I just like to listen. I don't want to come up and speak. I just like to listen, and I understand that as well too. So it's definitely no harm in that. But like I said, we just try to hit up on a number of different topics. I definitely thought the Kevin Porter Jr. thing was something that needed to be talked about, because mainstream media, they're covering it left and right, and definitely the Gullah Geechee situation as well too. I'm like, hey, this is another land grab. This is you're starting, no matter what city you're in, you're starting to see all of this gentrification taking place. I mean, it's rolling through here in Florida as well too, and that's something that really should really trouble a lot of us, because I'm wondering in the next 20 years or so, how prices are going up with rent, mortgages, the actual interest rates of everything, and food, and the cost of electricity. I'm really wondering how we're going to be squeezed out as a people too, because while everything else goes up, our pay doesn't go up as well too. So I'm really concerned about that. I see it coming, and I'm just wondering how we're going to, if you look at the actual average cost of rent in this country, I'm just wondering in the next 10, 20 years exactly. You got to think about it, if you got kids and stuff, and you got future generations coming up, exactly how are they going to afford to live as well too. So that's something that really does, as a person, as a parent, that really does worry me, because I wonder exactly. I got kids, and they have to live in this world as well too. So exactly what's going to take place, man, when they have to go out here and they have to, get them a house and a car, and they have to deal with the utilities and insurance and food, and if you go into school, you got to worry about the cost of education and everything else. It just, things are just skyrocketing. It's never going to go down. Look at the price of gas right now. I think the national average is $3.84 for gas. So we almost have $4 a damn gallon. Gas is never going to go back to $2, and it may never be hit $3 even again. So I mean, it's just constantly going up. You got it, Blackie. You go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. So let me me go through the title up there. So the Gullah Geechee land, that is the, it's incrementalism. They're gonna chip away, and they're never gonna stop. They're gonna keep coming back. I think Ms. Trouble really said, about the generational part where you try to separate it from them when they're young, when they get older, when they transfer it over to future generations. They just gonna keep coming after the land. They're gonna keep trying to separate us from land unless we get control over the whole land. So that's just the reality of our situation. Agent Frat, I have no comment on that. The Kevin Porter, he should be charged, arrested. He should have been, I wanted to know what his bail was going to be. If this woman suffered physical injuries that caused her to have some type of bones broken inside of her body, he should be charged. I have no sympathy for that guy. And then the VMA. So I put down in here, because this came across the timeline about, and this is going to be the liquor store situation. So across the timeline came the fact that Biggie Smalls, back in the 90s, I guess, had transgendered he, she type people in these videos. And I was like, whoa, okay. So then I read down the thread, and then people are posting that there's been these YouTube videos, and then I found this Lipstick Alley, thing from 2019. So I'm guessing from everything I read about it, this was kind of industry known. It was like a thing, and there's like all these different pictures of different people who were trans inside of these rap videos, hip hop videos, R&B videos, whatever the case may be. And as a I'm an older male now, but back then I was much younger, and I'm thinking to myself, holy jeez, they were really, really, really getting us to be lusting after these people with no knowledge, right? Like, nobody knew. Of course, nobody understood what was going on, but the people inside knew. They had to know, because the one person is in multiple videos, and he's even in the bed with Biggie at one point. So he's like, that dude is trash to me. I don't care about his lyrical, none of that. He's just straight garbage to me. That's my VMA. Everything about entertainment at this point is Satan, ritual, occultism, and if you don't see those threads inside of it, you're probably not paying attention, because that's really what it is. And I'll just end with that.
Yeah, I saw you post that, Black Majority Say, and I saw somebody posting that too. They were saying that you had these trans in the rap videos and stuff like that. Now, my thing is, this knowledge, not by trans, are we saying that this is somebody that actually had the actual procedure as well too back in the day, got the cut and everything else? I mean,
that's it. Okay, so the one individual in question, according to the report that I read, was that she was unalived by someone after those video shoots who discovered that they were a man. So it's very possible that they still had the equipment, quote unquote, as they say. But then there's a video, I don't know if anybody knows DJ Mr. C is, like, oh my God, this dude is like way out there.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, no, he used to be with Biggie, his DJ.
Yeah, he way out there, because he all into like, sexual interludes with trans, whatever. And so it's like, it's just this weird thing that was kind of apparently involved in the industry portion of things. Again, not that the fans knew or even think of anything like that, but it seems like this was just like some insider industry situations. Like, there's this video floating around of Bieber on his knees and Odell Beckham Jr. Diddy's kind of always around this shit, but at some nightclub, and they kind of like, what was he doing down on his knees or whatever? I mean, it's so it's like, damn, bro, like, what's going on?
Yeah, this is some wild stuff. And I'll say this right here. I mean, because Biggie, I'll say he didn't put the extras on the video and stuff. He didn't put the people on there. So I don't know, would Biggie possibly know if somebody was a trans back in the day or whatever? I don't know. That's the thing, because he was just an artist. So, he didn't actually have any say, especially on Ready, on the Ready to Die. I'm not, Ready to Die, the first album. course, he only got a chance to see one single, one video off the second album. So, off of what was that? Because I saw the video that was with the Big Papa video with the one that was up in his face saying "True." Like, would Biggie actually know that? Hey, this is a dude right here. Like, that's the only thing. Like, I don't know.
Well, look, so here's the timeline. She was in this person was in the Flavor in Your Ear remix video, right? Then was in that Big Papa whatever video where he kind of steps to her, pushes the guy out the way. She's sitting at the bar. This person's thing is at the bar. This individual is at the bar. There's all these clips. My goodness. And then in the next video, that same individual's in the bed with him. So I gotta call BS if you're like, you don't know that this, because you got too much intimate contact with this, and they kind of made this person the subject. Like, they were the main. You know how they have like that girl that you're supposed to be in, that's like the storyline of the video. She was that person. So yeah, I gotta call BS if he didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna research this a little bit because I know one person was saying that the woman that was actually the one in the video was an actual adult star that they, So I'm gonna research it too, Black, and see what's up on that, because some people saying that wasn't the same one, that was an actual adult star, but we'll see. That's crazy. Like I say, if he was, like you said, he was in close contact, so you would think he would know something, because but definitely, Rira, I know you had your hand up. You want to go ahead? Okay. When you get a chance, you come back. Lola, what's going on tonight? How you doing, Lola?
How you doing, Newstoter? Thank you for allowing me to speak in your space this evening. Yeah, I saw that story that Black Majority is speaking about with LL, the transgender. I commented on it. I said I need to see some receipts on it. I didn't do a lot of research on it, so it's possible that she was a transgender. I know in the 90s, people weren't as out as they are now with their sexuality. So it's possible that she got through. It's possible that she, if you go all the way back to the 70s, 80s, there's well-documented stories of transgender students on the front of magazines who no one knew that they were transgender. You know what I mean? I spoke on this topic months ago, and I lost a lot of followers behind it. And it is what it is until I personally experienced it myself, where I was dating a so-called, quote-unquote, gangster, very intelligent, but was rough on the edges, well-known in the streets. And he was having a full-fledged relationship with a man. There's lots of Mr. C's in the world. There's lots of men in the world who have relationships with men. That's just what it is. You would be shook if you knew. You would be absolutely shook. I also spoke on the topic of men who wax, men who have no pube hairs. Like, that's just, for me, that was like a red flag. Like, I need to know that I'm with a man. Any man, I like a man who keeps up with his hygiene or whatever, and nothing wrong with keeping it nice and tidy. But a man who has absolutely no pubes down there, for me, that's just a red flag. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. I just think that in reality, there are men out there who have secret relationships with other men, and that's just what it is. You would be absolutely surprised. There's some cases where the transgenders, they have relationships and they keep it in the dark. Then you have some well-documented cases where men have unalived these transgenders once they found out, or I think some of them knew and they just were afraid of it getting out to the public. As far as the one that's in the LL and the Biggie video, she definitely could pass. I couldn't look at her and really tell that if she was a transgender or not. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, be mindful, and you would be surprised. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lola. Appreciate you coming up here. Let's see. I don't know. This thing is acting up. I see Rerod. I'm trying to get the Rerod and bring her up here, but I don't see her. Let me see real quick. Rerod, let me get to you. Okay. Okay, Rerod's up here. Rerod, if you want to say something, I know you was driving. If you
I
want
can hear it now.
to, okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on something DJ said earlier about the Maui fires. I know that's on the topic, but it's absolutely right. When Katrina happened, there's been so many of these
Rerod,
natural
you're a little bit low. We can get you a little bit louder if possible.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Roll your window up. Roll your window up.
Oh, okay. So yeah, what DJ was saying about Maui, it just like kind of struck a chord with me. As far as when Katrina happened, there was nothing. There's still millions of people. I mean, not millions, but maybe thousands of people still missing from Katrina. That no one's checking for. As far as the VMAs, I don't watch them either. I stopped watching that kind of stuff a long time ago. I don't do commercials or anything like that, with clips. And yeah, it's just real ratchet. It's just getting really, really ratchet out here. And I'm just sick of it. Like earlier, you guys were discussing the twerking and stuff. It's just like, damn. If I wake up and see more ass on the timeline, it's just like, come on. And now, it's like, it's getting to the point to where it's too much ass. It's just too much. I miss our old dances. I miss the butterfly. I mean, I think the last dance that somebody created was Soulja Boy. When he did that little thing, I couldn't get it because I was too old. But my nieces knew how to do it, and I think that was like the last dance that was really made up. They're not doing that anymore. And then as far as the Gullah Geechee lands, I'm really gonna have to look up eminent domain because I mean, you can have whatever you want, but if it's my land and I say I don't want to sell it, then I shouldn't have to sell it, right? Because it's my land. So I need to look more into that, or maybe give me some notes or something to take. Cause I don't know what this means. Okay, eminent domain, all right, but this is my property, and if I say I don't want to sell it, then how are you gonna come back and take it and that half really knows about? And I don't know much about Kevin Porter, but the dude, the NFL dude who did that to his girl, I'm just kind of worried. Like, is the NFL okay? Are the men okay? Are they on steroids? Why are they so?
Kevin Porter is an NBA baller.
Oh, okay. So then I'm probably talking about him. But
Yeah, that's an NBA player.
Are they okay though? Like, is the NFL okay? Are the players okay? Because it happens so much. And you said earlier, Newstoter, like we're not talking as much as we used to. And unfortunately, I feel like it's because we keep on hitting these same things over and over and over again. Just like for the white people, when they see one of us die, it's porn for them. They can jack off to. But for us, it's straining, and it hurts. And every time we talk about it, we don't see any changes happening. And so it's hard kind of to keep discussing these things when they keep happening over and over again. And we don't have a valid solution of what to do to make it stop. And as far as the Asian people, come on, they've been trying to be up in our mix as long as forever. I mean, I know Asian people, that I used to hang out with back in the day. And this whole Asian hate filled shit, I'm like, they were the closest ones to us. You know what I'm saying? For me, on the West Coast, I know a lot of Asian people. And they was all cool. Invited me to dinner. I invite them to dinner. It was all cool, So, I mean, they always been pretending. They always been acting like us. They've always been close to us. So, they're definitely going to, imitate us. But yeah, and that's all I have to say. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Can I add something to what Sis just said, Newstoter, real quick?
Newstoter.
Newstoter. I'm sorry. I apologize. I would like to say something about Oprah in these fires. Okay. I thought it was very sinister of her. I put this on my timeline, but I'm going to say it in this space. While everybody was burnt out and people losing everything that they own, she chose to make a video in her with her untorched land. Like the video was standing in her backyard somewhere in Hawaii, and it was spanned like a very wide camera angle where you could see like a wide angle of her green. I just thought that was such a dark energy. It was just so sinister to put. Like, why would you make that video speaking about the fires, standing in your untorched land in Hawaii, and it's so green and untouched? It just made me believe every dark deed I ever heard about Oprah. From the instantly, it made me believe everything I ever heard about her. I thought that it was very dark and very evil of her to do that. Like, why wouldn't you just make a video from your living room, or why stand and have your background, your untorched land in Hawaii when everyone has lost everything and been burnt out? And I also think that these are money grabs when you see people like her and Rock raising money. What do you need to raise money? You're a fucking billionaire. Just give money. Why are you asking for money when you are a billionaire? You have acres there. You could help those people just with the blink of your fucking eye, at the snap of your finger. So when you see these people raising money, trust me, it is something dark and sinister behind it. That money will never see those people. Just be mindful and critical. And if you don't believe me, go to her page and look for this video yourself. I mean, like the sis just said, there's children down there that's still missing. People have lost everything, and you choose to make a video showing your green backyard. It just gave a very sinister energy. And I believe every dark thing I've ever heard about Oprah instantly. And I just want to land there.
All right. Thank you, Lola. A lot of people, like you said, they were upset with Oprah. Like I said, I didn't know at the point in time that Oprah had 1,000 acres over there. You talk about in Hawaii. Hawaii has some expensive, very expensive property. So, and apparently you had a bunch of other. And of course, you got a bunch of other jet setters and stuff around the world that own property over there in Hawaii too, because it's considered like a paradise type setting as well. So not really surprising. You're right. I mean, Oprah's a billionaire. If Oprah wanted to go ahead and give away, let's say she wanted to give away 20 acres of her property, just 20 acres of 1,000 she had, and say, you know what, I'm going to give 20 acres away and let X amount of families build on this property or whatever, she can definitely do that. I don't know exactly. You never know what somebody's doing behind the scenes. I'm sure she's probably donated some money or whatever. And you're right, they're raising money as well to asking for donations. A lot of times people say, you know what, I'll donate some of my money, but of course I ain't gonna donate it all, and I'll go ahead and I'll raise money and this and that or whatever. So I'm sure she's doing something. She's always donated and stuff like that. I know she did catch flack from a lot of black people at one time. Black people were upset that she built the school over there in Africa, and they were saying, well, why didn't you build a school over here?
And there's a lot of dark stories about that school as well.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about that school too. Yeah,
there's a lot of stories, and I feel like during Katrina, Red Cross raised billions, and the people of Katrina never saw that money. They never saw that money. I remember John McCain's wife. She worked for Red Cross. She was ordering extra amounts of painkillers and things like that. She was charged for that. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the money that Red Cross raised that never saw the residents of Katrina. So when I see these billionaires asking for our coins it just raises a red flag to me. It really does. It just does. We already suffering. People can barely pay their rent. You are a fucking billionaire. Handle it. You out there, you buying up acres of land. Handle it. Yeah, y'all superstars. Why are you asking for
It's like they laughing at us, sis. I feel like they laughing at us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't think it's coming from a pure place at all. It does very satanic, and it kind of feels like, aha, we have money, but we need you to give us your money. You know, it seems really dark that they have the money to do something. You know, she said that she bought all these underwear. Okay, well, post a picture. You bought all these things. Post a picture. Okay, prove it. Because I need receipts at this point with anything Oprah does. Her getting up Michael, being Epstein's best friend, like she is suspect, big time.
And the other guy as well. And not just Epstein, the other guy from Hollywood she was best friends with. Then her spiritual guru just got sentenced to like 100 and something million years, you know, for pedophilia or something like that. Oprah just has a very dark, sinister energy to her. Go on her page, watch those videos, and watch for yourself. It's like, I don't know, it's just something very sinister to her.
Well, like you say, Oprah, she
just ain't matching up to me.
like you say, Oprah, she fell out of favor with a lot of black people. Rerod, when she started talking about Michael Jackson, you know, a lot of black people to this day they're still upset about that. And then her girl Gail King, you know, right after Kobe Bryant died, she starts talking about the allegations with Kobe Bryant and everything else, like the man body, you know, was still warm, and she started bringing that up before even the white folks in the media did, and you know that rubbed a lot of black folks the wrong way as well too. So you know, Oprah kind of, you know, from the time with the Michael Jackson thing, she seems like she's been kind of, you know, laying low a little bit to a certain degree. She's like, hey, let me go ahead and move over here. And, you know, so a lot of black folks, they have not forgotten that either as well. And like I said, when you go back and people talk about the actual school, people, you know, you had a good amount of people saying, well, why you didn't build a school over here? And you know, some people were saying that her reply, and I can't remember her reply, was something to put the point like, "Yeah, you got schools over here already, and you know, a lot of us ain't going to school and this and that." So it was kind of one of those little snide remarks like that that you know that also kind of rubbed people the wrong way. So you know,
And why is she so protected? Why? You know what I mean? Why is she so protected? That's
she's an elite. She's a billionaire. She's one of them. That's why.
I mean, but she hasn't had a nigga wake up moment yet. So I'm like waiting for it to happen. You know? Because there's a lot of elites who had their nigga wake up call. You know, they had their nigga moment. She hasn't had it. And she's been here forever. I mean, I remember being a kid.
Well, she expected everybody.
Because Oprah was on.
She expected everybody to hear those sinister stories and to think that we're all not critical thinkers and we're all just going to think, oh, like it's a conspiracy theory, you know. And even I used to just, you know, honestly, just like, oh, just pass it off when I would hear these stories until recently, until I saw her make that video. I'm serious about the fires. You can't be a billionaire and not be in with them. I just don't think that you can have that kind of that amount of money and not align with the elites in some form or fashion. I don't know.
well, yeah, she got little small wake up calls before. I remember one time she was over there in Europe and she went shopping, and you know, even with all the money she had, the name and the notoriety, you know, the white folks wouldn't let her come in some of those shops and stuff and shop at like that. So she's gotten in little small increments, nothing really ever huge, but she's been reminded at times that hey, we don't give a damn if you're a billionaire or not, you're still not one of us. So that's about as big as largest one that she had. And um let's be for real, for the past what
It's all marketing. Her brand is, oh, I help people. I give a solution to your problem. It's all marketing. If you're marketing, I mean, you can package up some shit. I think scammers are able to scam so well because it's the packaging, it's the marketing, it's the brainwashing. You if you package up some shit perfectly, you could sell ice to an Eskimo. You feel me? So you have to unlearn some shit. We heard the stories of her being poor and all the horror story. I'm one of you. I'm one of you. So you get pulled into that, and you let your guards down, and that's what.
Yeah, but it's like, so they have their nigga wake up moments, right? But then they still don't help the Black community, and we're usually the ones who help them get out of these situations. You know what I mean? All of them. Kyrie, we stood behind Kyrie. We stood behind Kanye, even though he's crazy as fuck. We stood behind Oprah. You know what I'm saying? We stand behind them, and there's still no like love for us.
Now I will say in Kanye, and not Kanye, but Kyrie's defense, Kyrie does do a lot. He does do a lot of things in terms of donating his money and stuff like that to, different causes and stuff like that. More so than maybe somebody like Kanye. And I don't know what Kanye donates personally, but Kyrie will come out of the blue. And if it's a cause, and he has donated, he donated to our sister Aunt Lai too.
Give thousands to GoFundMe, just random people's GoFundMe.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, because he donated to our sister Aunt Lai right here, that be in our Twitter spaces as well, for her nephew as well too. So I have to give Kyrie, his due on that one right there. Now Kanye on the other end.
Yeah, that's why they actually came down on Kyrie for speaking out against them. Speaking his spirituality and his blackness, and not being in the matrix. And that's why they came down hard on Kanye. I mean, not Kanye, but Kyrie.
Yeah, he also didn't take the jab either.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He for the whole season, he missed most of the season. He refused to do it. So he definitely that was something else that pissed him off as well too. And you got people that say the same thing with Jamie Foxx. We had that space on Jamie Foxx in the Clone Tyrone movie a while back. Yeah, that space about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I don't know. Whenever that movie came out, we did a space talking about the actual correlation between that movie and the actual things going on in the Black community as well too. So that was definitely, if you guys didn't get a chance to catch that space, definitely catch that space. You can catch that video on YouTube. My boy Nightfall says that that Oprah had 2 wake-up calls overseas when they turned her away and they wouldn't let her shop in those shops. And he also said when the American Cattlemen's Association almost got her show canceled, it was still big. So I guess she must have started talking some craziness about, I don't know about the American.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
I also saw an interview with the creator of the Shade Room, right? And she said that 90% of her revenue is from advertisement. So listen, if 90% of your revenue is from advertisement, then that means that most of the things that the Shade Room posts as stories, you're really watching a paid ad. You're really watching a paid advertisement pushed as a story, okay? Pushed as news. So be mindful of that as well. A lot of these blogs, they push stories as news, when really they aren't paid advertisements. These are people who have contacted them and paid them to post these stories. So I just wanted to add that.
No problem. Thank you, sister. Appreciate that. But yeah, most most websites, they get paid from advertisement as well too. So they have the actual ads, in the header and the footer and everything else, the sidebar. So they definitely the issue I think people have with the Shade Tree is that the Shade Tree has one type of they feel that the Shade Tree is all sensationalized to a certain degree, that they post a bunch of entertainment stuff, and I guess they feel that they don't post any other type of information. The Shade Tree is an entertainment site, but a lot of Black folks feel like the Shade Tree at times takes a lot of shots at Black Americans and stuff with the actual content that they post, and there's always negative type comment, negative type of content. Like they very rarely show anything positive. Like on Newstoter, you'll find a wide variety. You'll find entertainment. Yeah, there'll be some celebrity gossip stuff on there as well, but there'll be news, there'll be politics, there'll be education, there'll be lifestyle, there'll be health, there'll be a number of different things as well too. So you'll find a number of different things on the actual site itself as well. So it's not always and we curate news from other black sources as well too. So we definitely it's a number of different things that you'll find on there. And like I say, we're not actually writing the article, so we have our curation partners and things of that nature. But it's a number of different topics and things of that nature as well. Yeah, you're gonna find entertainment, you'll find sports talk, you'll find this, you'll find that. But you'll also find politics, news, education. You'll find business. You'll find a number of different things as well too. And people feel, I guess, with the Shade Tree that, you know, uh, like I say, it is an entertainment site, but people feel like maybe it shows nothing but negativity about Black Americans. I've heard that talking point before. So I've been on the Shade Tree a couple times before, years ago. I haven't been on the Shade Tree in years, so I can't exactly tell you exactly what they cover, but I know they do have a huge platform. Trouble, you got it. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
Newstoter, you said shade tree. You mean shade room or shade?
Shade room, shade room. What am I talking about? Shade room. I'm sorry. That's my bad. We had an old football player at Florida State named Marvin Shade Tree Jones. That's who I must be thinking about. But Shade Room, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was real quick about that. I was in one of the little Democrat spaces earlier. I think with Nick Barnes was hosting. I think they still hosting that space. Um, and the interesting thing about that is there was a lot of African women in there um, speaking about it. And so what they were saying about the shade room was the woman said that the owner of the shade room is a woman that I guess she knows the woman from Africa. And she was saying that the woman is that the shade room is being funded by right wingers or whatnot, and that they have a following that's larger than Twitter and Facebook together, and that they've been purposely posting misinformation about Black Americans and Black American culture and different things because of who has been being paid, who they're being paid by. So I thought that was a little interesting tidbit that there were several African women in that space who were chiming in about the shade room and how insidious that they are and the tactics that they've been employing against the Black American audience or just Black Americans, period. So that was I just wanted to when I heard you say shade tree, I was like, I want to be talking about shade room.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my bad. So like I said, that was on my part. That was a mistake. Now they have a huge platform, but to say they bigger than Twitter and Facebook, nah. They have a huge they have a huge platform, but they ain't bigger than no Facebook and no Twitter. But they are a huge website. Don't get me wrong, they're huge.
Yeah, she was saying that their following base and that their coverage is larger than Twitter and Facebook. And I think maybe she was trying to make that point because what she was saying is that from where the woman is from in Africa, they have this intercontinental audience, and which makes them more dangerous because than Facebook or Twitter because I guess she was saying that where the woman is from, she has like 300 million people just over in Africa alone, and not to mention other nations in Africa or whatnot that pay attention to her, especially because she's an African owned. It's an African owned site. So they were kind of going back and forth and tossing that conversation around earlier today, and I thought that was pretty interesting because you generally don't hear, and I don't know how much truth it is. I ain't gonna stake all the just make it seem like it's all out truth, but it was interesting because you don't really hear a lot of Africans talking about their other African people. They kind of keep that on the hush hush a little bit, but maybe because they are Democrats who are fighting other Black people for not being Democrats and talking about not voting Democratic, maybe that might be the reason why. Who knows? But there was definitely some interesting information on the shade room.
Now the shade room, Bossip has a huge and that's one thing that people were saying that some of these sites, some of these entertainment sites, these celebrity gossip sites, which have huge followings, they're not Black American owned, and that sometimes they show the actual, like I say, the worst side of Black American. Like I say, they're strictly entertainment type sites as well too. And like I said, we have entertainment and stuff on there from all over as well too. But like I say, it is a there is actual other content on the actual site as well too. So I mean, the thing, like you're right now, she because you say she's an African chick that owns it. So the shade room. So yeah, that's possible. I'm sure they have a huge. You got to remember too, in Africa now, and not trying to take a shot at Africa, but Africa doesn't have like the greatest, still at this point in time, the greatest in terms of the internet technology. So even though she may be from a country with 300 million, how many of them actually really have the internet in that country as well too? Because we know that we still over here in this country as well, and there are a lot of places over here that we still, still don't really have the internet access, especially in these rural communities and stuff like that. They talk about broadband and this and that or whatever. There are a lot of areas that still in the United States that's lagging behind in terms of actual internet access. So you can imagine in Africa that, they don't have the greatest internet access because a lot of times they have electricity and power outages and stuff like that all the time. So, you know, they may have a huge population, but even if it's 300 million or wherever she's from, and the only place that I could think, the largest country in Africa is Nigeria, so she would have to be a Nigerian. I think Nigeria has what 200 million.
Nigeria.
Yeah, I think Nigeria has a little over 200 million. So and we know Nigeria, their power grid structure and everything else like that isn't the actual best in the world. So let's go ahead and say they got 200 some million. I would say at least, and you're talking about a country with a poverty rate is, I'm sure, got to be like 40 some odd percent of the people that's in poverty. So we can go ahead and we can look at internet and all that other stuff and like, yeah, out of the 200 some odd million people there, you probably might have 40 million people that probably actually have access to the internet. 40, maybe 50 million people, I would say at tops. So she probably has, and she probably has a huge connection from there, like she says. But I mean, Twitter, Facebook, you're talking about sites that have hundreds of millions of people. Facebook in particular has 1 billion, and I'm sure Twitter probably has 500 million or something at least monthly on the actual users and stuff on the actual site. So yeah, Shade Room is huge and it's big, but the social media sites, especially once the ones that develop like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and those type sites, you talk about the mega traffic. The only thing bigger than the Facebooks and the Twitters would be, of course, YouTube. And when YouTube is up there, I guess YouTube and Facebook are comparable, maybe, but YouTube and really the actual the actual Googles and the Yahoos of the world and stuff like that in terms of the actual traffic they get. So Black.
Right. So, real quick before Black goes, and Black, what's up, Black? It says that 122.5 million internet users inside of Nigeria by January of 2023, with the penetration rate stood at 55.4% of the total population at the start of 2023. So, with an increase of 2.9 million people between last year and this year. So it's a little bit more than that 40 million, but at the same time, not to say that the whole 122.5 million internet users are utilizing their internet to go on the Shade Room.
Yeah, and then, like I say, that's when they don't have a power outage and all that other stuff as well too. So Black, go ahead, you got it.
Yeah. Mr. Trump, I was wondering, you were talking about the shade room, but did the lady who wasn't a part of the shade room, did she mention her platform, the name of it?
She said that her herself or the Shade Room woman.
No, the other one.
No, she didn't say what her specific platform was. I was listening as I was driving, and so I didn't even look down to see who it was that was talking. I just know that there was about 3 different African women who came up to speak in that space, and all of them were pretty much given a little bit of tidbits and dropping a little bit of information about the woman who owned, who ran the Shade Room website, and they were saying that she was a Nigerian American. Let me look and see if they're still going. Yeah, Nikki Barnes is still hosting her, the room that it was in, which is VP Harris's on Biden's ticket. Why are some white men mad about it? But even though that's the title of the room, they delved into the conversation of, why Black people are falling for the misinformation and not, standing behind Kamala Harris. And that's how the Shade Room conversation came into play, as to say that, this is one of the reasons why, because Black Americans are on this website, and the Shade Room is funded by right wingers and yada, yada, yada.
That sounds like a cop out too, though, because they're trying to blame anytime and now. And like I say, whether you're a shade room fan or whatnot, it seems like they're trying anytime, like Democrats poll or their ratings are low or this and that or whatever. They're always trying to blame a website or this and that, especially now with Black. Oh well, it's your guys' fault. Why people know? Like it don't have anything to do with these websites. People can actually see exactly what's going on, man. Like. Stop trying to always blame the actual website. Either you're a Russian bot or you're some kind of, it's a website or this or that or whatever. All of this stuff that they come up with just makes absolutely no sense. Maybe people see Kamala's track record. They know she's not doing anything. They see how long Biden's been in office. He hadn't done anything for Black people. They've totally ignored any time. And now that the election is getting a year from out, now they're starting to come up here with this hip hop stuff, and they starting to come back and forth and trying to throw all this stuff up here that doesn't really matter. Now they want to go ahead and just throw a crumb here, a crumb there, and say, you know what? We know how Black people are. We know that their voting records. We know their voting habits, how they do things. So if we just show up and we talk to them nice or whatever, and we may give them half a crumb or something that don't really amount to anything, they'll come back out or whatever. They're already trying to frame it. They're trying to already blame Black men if they lose or whatever. To, well, Black men, and even they're trying to put a little Latino men on there. They'll put Black men and Latino men, but why are they leaving the Democratic Party? The Democrats need to get them back. But guaranteed, if Trump somehow beats Biden, they're going to go ahead and they're not going to blame Latino men for anything. They're going to put the fault 100% on Black men. They go, well, and you'll have Black women in the Democratic Party up there spearheading it. Yeah, Black men were the reason why we lost this election and this and that or whatever. And like I said before in another space that we had, Black women are the single most loyal voting bloc of any bloc in this country. Black women vote about 90 some odd percent Democrat. And the second largest voting bloc would be Black men because they vote 80 some percent Democrat. So even if 20% of them left the actual damn Democratic Party and then voted for Trump, like they say Black men in in the last election, that 20% of them left or whatever, they're still more loyal than any other group outside of Black women to the Democratic Party. So if they lose, go blame another demographic. Go blame Latino men. Go blame Asian men. Go blame white women. Go blame somebody. Go blame anybody, but just don't put all 100% of the blame on Black men because they're still the second most loyal voting bloc out of any other group not named Black women.
That's something that they did in the space as well. They threw the shade on the Shade Room, and then they turned around and not only said that they were being funded by right wings, but that they were also being funded by Russian oligarchs and blase as well. And of course, they do the whole, just like you just said.
Yeah, magpie mumbo jumbo. Magpie mumbo jumbo.
Most of us who are coming up against it are Russian bots and being paid, and so it's a mind fuck for sure.
They already laying it out there right now. That's why, like I say, I'm no Trump fan, but I already see that they trying to do all they can to get him up out of the actual spot as well too. So they already like trying to lay it down or whatever and lay the foot right at Black people's feet, and especially Black men. Let them lose this election, and it's going to be all the Black man fault. Oh, you guys, you have an issue with Black women in power. That's why y'all didn't come out and vote. And you guys are misogynistic, and you guys are this and that. And if you did what you're supposed to do, then like Joe Biden is a second coming of Jesus or something. Like if anybody should have a real dislike of this dude, it should be Black men. If anybody should have an issue with this dude, all the noise he done talked about with black men, if anybody in this country should have a dislike of him, it should be black men. And to sit up here and act like, well, you'll hear Al Sharpton in just a minute before they go ahead and trot him out there, and he'll be talking about black. He was already talking about the rappers and how the rappers was, and now all of the time we all know that black entertainers and rappers in particular always went Democrat. So all of a sudden they want to go ahead and say, well, the rappers are misleading everybody, and the rappers. I mean, man, stop with this nonsense here. Black, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I wonder if it was there's a platform called Blacksby, and I think they say they got 1 million users, and I believe most of them are African. And so what I wanted to say, the point I wanted to make was, they could have 200 million users, to be quite honest. The reality is that in terms of the value of those particular users who are going to be majority, and Newstoter was really hitting it. They're an impoverished population. So while the numbers look big, and this is what I would really caution against anybody who tried to start a platform to get big numbers and open it up to that particular population group, because you can get big numbers by going after that population. The problem is going to be really, really anybody who's intelligent enough to realize that you're wasting your advertising dollars advertising to a bunch of people that don't got no money, to be quite honest. So I would be more concerned about the value of the membership and instead of the number. It's like quality over quantity. And so I was just curious if it was that Blacksby one, because I know that's one that's been around for a few years, and they do have some large numbers. But again, I don't think the quality is there. I think it's just a lot of quantity.
It's funny because over there on YouTube, Nightfall said, Tota, come on, what isn't our fault? And I mean, you're right. Like I say, they already getting ready to try to lay this at the blame at the feet of black men right here. That's going to be the number one thing. A party who black men rallied actual black people around to go ahead and start. It was black men in the 60s that rallied everybody around to go ahead and start voting Democrat and everything else like that. And how they forgot and how they try to go ahead and leave us out of any kind of key legislation there is. And they want to sit up here and cry and throw a pity party about black men, what black men not doing, black men not pulling their weight and this and that. And then you got other black people in the party, both black men and women sitting up here co-signing this dumb stuff. Co-signing it, sitting up here going right along with this stuff right here. Already so afraid that they're going to lose this election, already looking for the boogeyman. And the boogeyman is going to be us, unfortunately. They're going to put the blame at us. Black, what you said as well, too, like in terms of the advertisement, you can have 1 million people coming into your website or whatever, but if 1 million of them, or 500,000 of them was coming from Africa or some of these other countries, the money, the advertisers, they're paying for the United States, Canada, and Western Europe. That's going to be where the money's going to really come at in terms of your advertisement dollars. So if you got people coming from third world countries and this and that or whatever, yeah, you may make a few pennies, but they want people coming from what they consider to be first world countries. Like, so if you're not coming from that, like I say, America, Canada, England, and, some of the Western nations over there in Europe, that's it. But if you're coming from like third world countries and stuff like that, yeah. Now, if you have a subscription based site, that's great. Now, you don't need the advertisement dollar. You got your subscribers, and they're paying X amount of dollars a month. Hey, you don't really need the advertisement. But if you're depending on that advertisement dollar, and hell, you got 1 million people, but half or 700,000 of them coming from Africa, and 100,000 of them coming from Iran, and 50,000 coming from Iraq. Yeah, you may not be banking the way you think you're going to be banking. That's for certain. DJ, I see you had dropped down, but you came back up. And shout out to everybody up in the space as well, too, guys. We were talking about the VMAs, and we're talking about the situation with Kevin Porter Jr., the basketball player. The one, you have the incident going on with him and the girlfriend. He was arrested. He's out now, and, it's a whole situation. We're talking about that. I know you guys seen that video, the Asian fraternity up there strolling, Had a couple black guys up in the actual frat as well too, trying to copy the swag that you see the fraternities on the HBCU campuses. But of course they failed miserably. And we're talking about the Gullah Geechee, how they're trying to go ahead and do land grabs all throughout the deep south, in the coastal areas, trying to go ahead and snatch up land, especially over there in Georgia and the Carolinas as well too. So we've been touching up on those issues, and then we just started touching up on a number of issues as well too. So we kind of open it up even more. So if anybody wants to come up and speak, you can definitely come on up here and speak. Nightfall says, and look how they try to entice us to vote. Get your booty to the poll. And that disgusting other video they had with Trina and that that dude, the gay dude. Like, what was the dude? What was his name? What was the one that was with Trina, the DJ? Sauce. What his name? Sauce something. Saucy or something. I don't.
No voting, no bucking. No voting, no bucking.
Yeah,
Saucy Santana.
that's who it is. We did a space on that. We did a space on that one as well too, man. So we've been covering a number of these spaces and stuff with some of this stuff as well too. Says or they post up a B, and Nightfall says, or they post up a BS photo ops like that mammy in Atlanta that was sitting in the barbershop talking to a bunch of well dressed black men. What mammy was what mammy he talking about Nightfall? You talking about it? It was up in Atlanta, talking to well dressed black man. Y'all know that Nightfall? Let me know who was that was up in the Atlanta barbershop that did the little photo op with, because they forever dropping the photo ops and whatnot. So I'm not sure who that might have been, but I'm sure you get a chance, you'll let me know that with Nightfall. But yeah, like I say, definitely, guys. Appreciate everybody coming up in the space. And y'all said that what's the name? Nikki Barnes. She had a space going on about the what the Democrat, like, because I know she's in Florida too, so I know they gonna put her on out there. I'm surprised Luke went up in the space with her.
Yeah, she got a space going on right now. VP called VP Harris's on Biden's ticket. Why are some white men mad about it? But like I said, even though that's the title, they quickly delved into the whole black people getting into misinformation and not big up in having VP Harris's back. And so what I gathered is they're extremely scared right now that Biden isn't going to be reelected. And so here we go with the scare tactics. And it's like when you listen to some Republican spaces, they're doing the same scare tactics, and then you listen to the Democrats, and they're doing the same scare tactics. And I'm like, I don't like neither one of you, but it's amazing how you have a space that's titled something about white people, but you delve into black people. You're talking about black people. So, keep it a buck, keep it 100, keep it on title. You don't want to keep it on title. You want to delve into black people and misinformation. When we're not going off of misinformation, we're going off of experience, lived experiences that we've had with the Democratic Party. And I don't understand why these shields who we hold in these spaces don't really see it. And maybe you do see it, but who's paying you? I mean, you want to call all of the black people who are online, and then they're lying. They're saying, well, black people online give me misinformation, saying not to vote at all. That's not what I'm hearing a lot of black people say. We're not saying don't vote at all. We're saying make an informed decision and vote for the best person inside your local area who's going to advance whatever it is that's going to benefit you and your people. Nobody said necessarily not to vote at all, even though if I'm looking at both of these mugs, I don't separate my white supremacists from each other. You got the red team, you got the blue team, Bloods and both Crips, and neither one of y'all are serving my community. So why should I give either one of you any vote? But if you want my vote, you got to work for it. You got to give me something in return for it, and that's what black people are saying. They're not telling people not to stay home. We grown ass people. I cannot tell you to stay home. You make your own decision. So stop lying. What they need to quit doing is stop lying about what black folks on the internet telling other black folks to do. It's called making an informed decision. And just because people aren't just saying, "Oh, vote blue no matter who," well, what kind of fool are you? And I'll land right there. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, and I want to add to what you were saying right there too, because another thing they're afraid of too, Trouble, is the fact that people see that Joe Biden is old and fragile. Even Joe Biden and some of his supporters that are white that voted for Joe Biden, but at the same time, Joe Biden is, I think Joe Biden, if he wins the election, he'll be leaving the White House. He'll be like 84 years of age. We see Joe Biden now stumbling and bumbling. Mr. Magoo round here, bumping into stuff, not knowing where the hell he's going at, forgot where he put his car keys, and he was actually dropped off to where he had to go to. So the thing that scares a lot of white voters is that, hey, we go ahead and we vote for you in office, and then we got Kamala Harris as a president, and we done made her the first Asian slash black president, whatever you want to call her. So they're like, well, we even some of his staunch people thinking like, well, I don't know. Like, truthfully, the Democratic Party is afraid because they really want somebody else. They wish he would go ahead and step down. They wish he would go ahead and step down right now so they can go ahead and vet somebody else, get him up there. They know Kamala Harris won't win the actual nomination. So they can go ahead and get somebody. They can throw Gavin Newsom. They can go throw whoever up there. What's your boy, the Spanish cat up in Texas? I can't think of his name, but they can throw somebody up there outside of her. But the fact of the matter is that if he go ahead and he runs and he wins, they don't want Kamala Harris to be president. Even the people that's voting them in the office don't want Kamala Harris. They have absolutely no confidence in her whatsoever. So that's a nightmare scenario for their swing voters. You got swing voters thinking, do I really want to go ahead and put Kamala Harris and make her the next president of the United States? Which is a realistic possibility. How Joe Biden is, it's a bunch of these old cats that should go ahead and sit down and retire. You got Dianne Feinstein, 90 years of age up there. People got to tell her what to say up there. You got Mitch McConnell freezing up like you playing a game of freeze tag up there. You got Maxine Waters in her 80s. You got a number of these people up there in their late 70s, 80s that's still up there in Congress right now. And it's time for a lot of them to go ahead and drop out and bow out gracefully. I think I heard Mitt Romney say he's not going to run again. And Mitt Romney, I think he's in his 70s. So he said he's not going to run again. I think he might be like 75, 76. And I guess he was saying that, that I guess he find fault that they're trying to go ahead and talk about trying to impeach Biden, and he says he doesn't really see any evidence to go ahead and start an impeachment and this and that, and he feels like the Republican Party needs to move away from having all this resentment that Donald Trump has and moving in a different direction. So, both parties is a hot mess at this time. You got a lot of Republicans. Even though Donald Trump, is a favorite, it's a lot of Republicans on that side that's tired of Donald Trump as well, too. They wish Donald Trump would go ahead and sit down as well, too. But who's their next best bet? Ron DeSantis? I mean, so at this point, they're kind of, they're kind of stuck in a hard place, too. Both of these parties want the actual leading person to go ahead and sit down. The Republicans think we need a new image. People because people are still gonna tie that January 6th thing around with Donald Trump. They want to go ahead and get a new, fresher air, a breath of fresh air, and so do the Democrats. The Democrats know that it's not a good thing with Joe Biden, with the age he's at, with his health and this and that, with everything that he's going through, and then you got Kamala Harris as the backup. They don't want that. The swing voters don't want that, and you best believe that when it come election time, the Republicans are going to try to drum that beat that, hey, you know what? Joe Biden might not even make it. Will Joe Biden even make it out the White House and this? And if he does, what kind of shape he's going to be in? If Joe Biden, is it going to be Kamala Harris really calling the show? Even if he's there, is she going to be the ones actually making the decisions and this and that and stuff like that? So, they kind of in a hard place as well, too. Nightfall said at this point they can't even run Michelle Obama and hope to win. And that's another thing. People have been talking about Michelle Obama as well too. Like, please.
A long time ago, she didn't want that position. You couldn't pay Michelle to get that position. She been said that. But if you really want to know the truth about it, why they sitting around worried about the black vote, who is a percentage of the votes, because you need white folks as well to vote in order to make that happen too. It's going to be those Hillary Clinton voters that don't want to vote for Kamala in, because they would never want to see Kamala in the place where their coveted Hillary should have been at. So they better look out for those women and the voters that wanted Hillary up in there rather than constantly looking at black folks and saying, oh, well, black people, if you all don't get out there and vote for Biden and Kamala, they're not going to get that ticket. You better look at them Hillary Clinton people, because those are the ones kind of sitting on the fence right now. Those are the ones who are more than likely to go over to the Republican side or just sit at home altogether. Stop looking at us and start looking at them.
Amen. And like I say, both parties are actually, and this would be a good election coming up if you did actually have a third party candidate to really throw everything into a monkey wrench. I'm sure come election time, you have somebody that'll run as an independent, but both parties, looking kind of fragile at this point in time. You got to elect somebody. Somebody's got to win. But, I think that the confidence that most Americans have in either one of these parties and any candidate that come forward, because everything that Donald Trump has been through, he's still destroying Ron DeSantis on the campaign trail. Like Ron DeSantis is still almost 20 points behind in some of these polls and stuff like that. You would think with everything that they've been hitting him with, Ron DeSantis would be neck and neck with him, but he's still so far behind that he's not even a viable threat to do anything. So at this point in time, I don't know what candidate they're going to put up there. I know my girl Lola, she was in here the other day, and Lola, I know you were a Gavin Newsom fan, but I think Gavin Newsom said he wasn't going to run against Joe Biden as well either. And normally, it's never really a good thing to run against a sitting president. And what's his name? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's got the name, but he doesn't have the personality, and he doesn't have the ability at this point in time to actually be, president of the United States. Yeah, he has a Kennedy name, but he doesn't have a Kennedy mystique. So you can pretty much X him up out of there as well too, because that ain't finna go down. Not to be. We are a vain country, and then the way he talks, unfortunately, he would never be president. I'm just being real here. The way Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talks, they're not going to elect him as a president of the United States. He has no chance, even though he has a Kennedy name tied to him. He's never going to be the president of the United States. I don't see that. And the actual what about our boy DJ Larry Elders? He's still up in the is Larry Elders still trying to run on the Republican side?
I think so, if I'm not mistaken. But go ahead.
Oh my Lord, Larry Elder, this dude is something else. Larry Elder has that.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, I was just saying, Larry can't even get inside the debate with his whining behind.
Well, at least he chipped up Charlemagne, though. That was fire. Keep it real, trouble.
Yeah, that was
fire.
Well, let's be for real. Charlemagne kind of gave him an assist to go ahead and actually hit him with that one too. So
word up, and so look, he might have a shot with Tim Scott. You know what I'm saying? America's not racist, trouble. What you talking about there?
Hey, Nightfall said that DeSantis is so toxic, his campaign flipped in Iowa of all places. He actually had people that tell him to get back on his bus and come back to Florida. Here's the thing that, I sure don't want him to come down here. Righty. Anybody else want to come on up here and speak tonight? I see we got a decent amount of people up in the space. Now I know you guys was up in that anybody that was up in the and trouble. I know you were up in the Nikki Barnes space, but what else were they talking about in there? Because like I said, I'm surprised Uncle Luke went up in there as well too. I know the dude Steven, he was up in there, right? I know he had to be up in there.
It was just the same talking points they always have. I think Uncle Shut Up was in the space for a little while, but he ended up leaving out, and so they kind of wanted to dig off in his behind a little bit, but he had left the space, and so they were talking a little bit of trash about that. But it was mainly the same talking points that they've been coming with for the last year or every year that the Democrats seem to be in trouble. Black people are listening to misinformation. Black people are listening to these ops online. When really, if you keep it 100% real, they didn't want to say the name, but they really wanted to say Tariq, but they didn't want to say the name, but that's who they was talking about, and they do that every single time they always try to make it the fault of one person, and this person is telling them not to vote, and that's just not the truth. And if you're gonna tell something, you're gonna say something. At least tell the truth about it all. You know, you can't keep blaming things on one person or saying that, you know, these are Russian bots and we're being paid. Like, how many of us could actually be getting paid? I mean, damn. I mean, put me out of work already. I mean, let me live a leisurely life by paying me already. But ain't nobody paying nobody. We're not Russian bots, and I wish they moved to a new talking point, because that one is so old, tired, and played out. But that's pretty much all it is, you know, we're being misled and we're not using our own head, and, you know, same shit, different toilet.
And not only that, Trouble, I agree with you. Like they hearing what Tariq's saying, but they also hearing what Jason Black is saying. They also hearing what Phil Scott from the African diaspora is saying. They hearing a lot of these people expect that with these huge YouTube platforms and social media platforms, they hear exactly what they're saying, because they got their eyes on them and stuff like that as well too. So they're hearing from a number. They seen a number of different people on there. They like, damn, they actually having some real impact and stuff like that as well too. So they're hearing a bunch of them, like I say, Phil, Tariq, Jason Black. You know, it's a number of them on there that they're actually hearing from, and like, well, you know what, they're the ones that's really messing this stuff up right here. See, Sean.
Time you make people aware of something other than what they want you to be aware of, you always see that's the opposition, the ops, because you're giving the people something different than what they want you to have. And that seems like that's part of the playbook, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. They both have the same playbooks. They just, you know, deploy them at different times and use different wordings to do it. But it's starting to look so scripted till it's, you know, just highly annoying. I just want them to get a new playbook. You know, get us something different for a change. I'm so used to this playbook. I want a new playbook now.
Yeah, and Nightfall, he added Professor. Yeah, shout out to Professor Black Truth and Vicky Dillard as well too. So it's a bunch of people out there that they hear, they know that they're saying this stuff like that, and they do have these pretty big platforms and stuff like that, and it's drawing people's attention as well too. So, you know, they're checking up on it as well. Shantae, what's going on with you tonight? How you doing?
Hello, beloved. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah. I wanted to say something I didn't get off my chest. So correct me if I'm wrong. And if you think I'm going a little too far, people always be like, Shantae, you're going too damn far. Is that okay?
Okay, you got it.
Here you go. Um, Not too long ago, I've been trying to look for different resources. Came to find out Biden. Well, fuck it. Here you go. Came to find out what happened was, like, I live in a democratic city, state, sanctuary city. I live in all that shit. Real talk. They was not giving our money out the way they supposed to. And then the daggone city and the government took the shit back. And I guess they're giving it to other people at this moment. I think I'm a little bit jealous, but I think I'm a little bit more of, why wasn't our people allowing us to know, especially if we got black mayors and black everything that's around us? Why in the world didn't they tell us, like, look, this is what y'all supposed to get, this is what y'all supposed to get? Instead of, if we wasn't able to get the money exactly at a certain time that we supposed to, they gave the money right back to the government. You understand what I'm saying? So now when I'm looking for resources, like, okay, so where's such and such, where's such and such? They're like, oh, all our funds is depleted and everything got depleted back in March. Like, when you gonna say something to people? And why do we have y'all in front of us talking for us, but yet y'all not even allowing us to know what's going on? It's kind of crazy to me because I feel as though people took money. I already know they did. That's just what happened. But why don't y'all count us out? What is it about us that y'all consistently count us out, knowing that we in need? That's the crazy part about it. Whether you're in Florida, whether you're in Georgia, whether you wherever you are, I'm wondering why the hell did they do that? They hear us loud. But as soon as like they think that we can get like a little bit of something, they be like, "Oh, give it back to the government." Am I the only one that experienced this? I'm quite sure somebody else has to.
You saying that it was some money that you were gonna get, and then the government end up taking it back or something, or
Yeah. Remember when the COVID money was out here?
yeah,
Everybody was getting the HHPT loans. Everybody was getting all type of loans, and they was shaming us for it. You shouldn't get this because it's gonna go back to the government. You shouldn't get this. You shouldn't get that. Yo, they had so much money out here when that damn COVID money came out here. Yo, they would motherfucker put your ass in a new house. They would have did everything for you. But for some reason, my city, my state, they was not telling us that. And if we didn't hurry up and use that, they didn't even tell us. Like, look, come get this money, use this shit up so y'all can get. Yes, I'll eat in a second. Give me a second. I'm on the phone. See, I got food. Thank you, baby. Positive. Thank you. Check my dog. Thank you, baby. Yeah, and then it turned around to where as though they gave the money right back to the state. So when I go out to go look for resources at this moment, like, look, I need to go pay my PSC and G bill. They're like, oh, you came a little bit too late. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, we give it back to the government because y'all didn't come and get the money. Did y'all hear about this? Or am I the only person? I cannot be the only person.
No, they're doing that in a lot of areas. If you don't know about the resources and things, they'll say that the money has went out. Here in South Carolina, we had an electric company called SCE&G, and they did this nuclear powered plant thing, and it went left, and they owed the city and the residents a whole lot of money because they upped our electric bill, and to pay for this nuclear thing that never ended up happening over the course of say 8 years or so. So they were supposed to give us the money back, and they didn't. Well, Dominion Energy bought them out, and so Dominion Energy was supposed to. They made an agreement with the state to pay the SCEG company's customers $1,000 back, but the city council went back behind the voters and deal. So renegotiated the deal that cut the money for the residents out. And what SCEG did was, what Dominion now did since they bought the old SCEG SCE&G building out, is they said that they were going to lower our bills instead for a period of time. And then they edged out, I think some people got $5 checks, some people got $30 checks. I know they sent me one for like $68, and I'm waiting for my $1,000. And so what they've now done, because it was a big deal about us surrounding it, they said, okay, well, what we're going to do is, they didn't even put this information out. I didn't find out until I went to one of these organizations to get help with my light bill. And the organization said, well, Dominion has this fund set up, so we're going to give you an additional $500 towards your bill besides what we're going to pay. Dominion is also giving a $500 certificate to the customers if you were an old customer of SCEG, which I was. And so the state and the cities, they do these things all the time. Whereas if you don't know that the money is there, they're not going to tell you. You just have to qualify, because you can only get these funds if you qualify for them. And that's how I ended up finding out about the $500 that Dominion was giving. And the woman told me that I could utilize their service twice. I could use it twice within a 6-month period. And so I utilized the service twice because that's how I got my $1,000. But if I had not have went down there, I wouldn't have known that the $1,000 that they was originally supposed to give the customers were only going to be paid out through a voucher if you went to one of the services that help you pay your light, rent, water, whatever, what have you. So outside of that, when it comes to the COVID money, you had a particular amount of time to claim it. And they gave people an additional couple of years, but a lot of states, especially red states, red states were returning a lot of the money back to the government. South Carolina was one of those states where when they was giving out money for healthcare and different things, they declined the money. And so we never got that money. So you kind of gotta be in the know. You gotta know somebody that knows somebody, or you gotta have your ears to the street, or you gotta know somebody that's utilized something that can pass that information on to you, or by the time you find out, it's gonna be gone. Because when they were doing that whole during the COVID time, by the time I found out that there was extra monies for light bills, because I know some people in some of the smaller towns were getting their light bills paid for 3 months in advance. So I'm like, okay, I want my light bill paid for 3 months in advance because my stuff was high. But by the time I went down there and found out, they was like, all of the funding is gone. So what they did was they claimed not enough people in my county was going to get the money, so they took that money and sent it to another county, which I think is BS. I think people were pocketing that money within the agency, but that's just me. But that's the excuse that they give you, and if you don't know, you don't know.
Did that answer your question, Shantae?
Yeah, pretty much. But I will put this out there because I think that we about to get another COVID scare again. It's been going on for a while, so they've been keeping it under handed. So if it's going to be another COVID scare, and then they're going to give out some more money, everybody be on top of your shit. Fuck that. Get everything that you can get out this goddamn government, and that's what we're supposed to do. It was kind of crazy.
I sure hope we don't.
Apply for your anchor check, Shante, and Jersey.
You talking about the $400 check that they had for the rent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Right, but it's twice though. It's twice though. You did 2019 taxes and your 2020 taxes. So go the same way you apply for it online. I'll send you the information. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna shut up after that. I need all that money.
All right. Thank you, Shantae. I guess, family, on that note, we'll go ahead and get ready to end it for the night. We've been going close to 3 hours here. So thank you to everybody coming up in the space tonight, to all the speakers. You guys definitely, you came in a little bit later, but thank you for showing up. Anyways, guys, go ahead and retweet that tweet out about Gullah Geechee. It's up in the Jumbotron. I tweeted it out. So on the far right-hand side, it's talking about the actual land grab that they're trying to do, trying to take property, historic property away from a group of black folks. So please definitely go ahead and retweet it out. We're trying to get that story as much traction as possible. Tag anybody in it that you think with a big media platform, anybody in new black media, anybody in mainstream media, anybody that you can think of, go ahead and tag them in that actual post as well too. We're trying to go ahead and get that to get as much attention to people as possible. DJ, go ahead real quick.
No, I was going to say, hey, if you got another 15 minutes to spare, or you're just trying to clock out, play a little bit of information what's going on up there in the tri-state with these immigrants.
How long is it?
It's just random videos or whatever the case. We gotta find one or whatever. But you gotta go, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce it out for the night, but then we'll come back tomorrow night, guys. So we'll definitely check everybody out tomorrow night. Everybody have a good one. Peace, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, folks. Peace.
Peace to everybody on YouTube as well.